Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early lie. Every single hour, every single day, every single night, early lie. I know it's hard to believe it's the whole forest, not one tree, and it's every branch and leaf. They're born to deceive, but I'm telling you the truth. It's not just one or two, it's every single Jew. They all hate you, and it really breaks my heart. But their lies are off the charts, and they only bring us harm. You gotta get smart. So if you want to be safe and don't want to get replaced, it's best you start being based, or you'll get erased. Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life. Every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life. I know it's hard to accept that all the ones you've met lie with every single breath. They want you dead, but you must not be weak. Just open your eyes and see they always exploit the meek. See their vampire teeth, and it can make you cry to learn your life was full of lies and their face was a disguise. But you must fight. So if you want to live and protect all of your kin, you have to grow thick skin, or we won't. Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life. Every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the stream. It is June 25th, man. Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the stream. Today, we're going to be covering some info that came out yesterday, not too long, while I was kind of on stream about what's going on as far as the intel community and the strike. I hate to say it, but, you know, I kind of told you guys so, that it wasn't going to really do much, and it was more about theatrics than actually getting anything done strategically. Because as you guys know, look, I like Trump, but, you know, you got to understand the type of guy Trump is, and the type of guy that Trump is he's a guy that likes to be able to take credit for things. He's a guy that likes to, you know, have people like him and be the cool guy and stuff like that. So obviously for him, this strike was more about kind of sending a message versus actually getting something done. Does that make sense, chat? So that's kind of what it was. So give me one sec, guys. I'm like fixing some of this stuff here because you guys know I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll kind of jump right into it. Shout out to Early Life. That, but if you guys are wondering, that song is called Early Life by Lucas Gage. He makes quite a few funny songs. Kind of annoying though. They took down his Boom Boom song on YouTube, but I mean, what could you expect really at this point, bro? Like it's starting to get ridiculous now with these guys and their fucking censorship. It really is starting to get annoying now. It's like, bro, nobody can have fun, can't say anything. Hate speech, everything is hate speech, bro. It's fucking retarded, bro. It's really truly the worst app ever, man. I hope Rumble, Kick, or one of these alternative platforms like take these guys the fuck out of here, bro. But anyway, strike setback Iran's nuclear program by only a few months, U.S. report says. Preliminary classified findings indicate that the attack sealed off the entrances to two facilities, but did not collapse their underground building. Okay, and there were a couple contributors to this one. We'll read a little bit of this. A preliminary classified U.S. report says the American bombing of 3 nuclear sites in Iran set back the country's nuclear program by only a few months, according to officials familiar with the findings. The strike sealed off the entrances to 2 of the facilities, but did not collapse their underground buildings, the officials said the early findings concluded. Before the attack, U.S. intelligence agencies had said that if Iran tried to rush to making a bomb, it would take about 3 months. After the U.S. bombing run and days of attacks by the Israeli Air Force, the report by the Defense Intelligence Agency estimated that the program has been delayed by less than 6 months. And for those of you that are wondering, what the fuck is the Defense Intelligence Agency? I've talked about them quite a bit, but let's go ahead and bring them up for you guys that don't know. DIA, right? So here they are. The Defense Intelligence Agency is an intelligence agency and combat support agency of the United States Department of Defense, specializing in military intelligence, a component of the DoD and intel community, the IC. DIA informs national, civilian, and defense policymakers about the military intentions and capabilities of foreign governments and non-state actors. It also provides intelligence assistance, integration, and coordination across uniform military service intelligence components, which remain structurally separate from DIA. So this is what they do, right? Kind of get an assessment on the damage, what they actually got done here, right? The report also said that much of Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium was moved before the strikes, which destroyed little of the nuclear material. Iran may have moved some of that to secret locations. Look, man, I hate being vindicated, but I told you guys that this strike was a big fucking waste of time, and it was for theatrics. You know, that's literally what it was for. And, you know, look, I get it. Trump wants to go ahead and be the guy that bombed Iran and took out the nuclear facility and then went ahead and made peace after. But the reality is this strike didn't really accomplish anything, okay? It just didn't. Like on paper, it looks good, right? It's a W for him to his constituents. But the reality is that it wasn't as productive as his administration wants to say, for obvious reasons, right? They want to be able to say, look at what we did. We made peace between Israel and Iran, and, you know, let the Trump administration get a W. But it's not, it ain't that. And we know that roughly somewhere between 200 to 400 kilos, right, of the nuclear facility was of the nuclear material was absolutely moved. We know that, right? Because they knew this attack was coming, guys, for months. They knew this attack was coming. I would argue, I made a tweet about this. I would argue, since the 2018 nuclear deal, that they knew that this was coming, and they knew that they needed to, move their shit. That's what I argue. As soon as the U.S. pulled out the nuclear deal, they knew right then and there that the United States and Israel was going to go ahead and start focusing on destroying their nuclear capability. So I would not be surprised if at that point they started creating other facilities to house the nuclear material and be able to go ahead and, you know, maybe some other centrifuge locations, right? Maybe running a secret plutonium program. Because as you guys know, there's 2 ways to get a nuclear weapon. You can get one by via the uranium enrichment route or through a nuclear reactor and plutonium. So who knows, bro? Who knows? Some Israeli officials say they also believe that the Iranian government had manipulated small covert enrichment facilities so it could continue its nuclear program in the event of an attack on larger facilities. Boom, that's what I was saying. Other officials noted that the report found that the 3 nuclear sites, Fordo, Natanz, and Isfahan, had suffered moderate to severe damage, with the facility in Natanz damaged the most. It is not clear whether the Iranians will will try to rebuild these programs. So let's go ahead and get into this. Watch this.
Between Israel and Iran appears to be holding for now, hours after President Trump accused both sides of violating the fragile ceasefire that he announced overnight. As he set off for the NATO summit this morning, the president swore in front of...
If we have time, we'll react to Stephen Crowder's episode 2. I know that he went at Candace and some other people that have a anti-war perspective like us.
reporters as his frustration, particularly at Israel, boiled over. You'll hear in full what he had to say in a moment. Tonight, Donald Trump has been warmly welcomed in The Hague, where NATO leaders have sat down to dinner at the start of the two-day summit on defence. It comes, though, as questions are now being raised in the United States about just how successful the American airstrikes were on Iran's nuclear facilities. Here's our North America editor, Sarah Smith.
Israel launched a barrage of airstrikes on Tehran as the ceasefire deadline approached, also striking Iranian missile launchers in a last-minute all-out assault.
They had to get their last hits in.
Donald Trump was furious with both Iran and particularly Israel for not respecting the deal.
I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot.
We often see President Trump exasperated, but never actually swearing like this.
You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Understand that Israel has pushed him too far this time, just when he's on his way to take a victory lap at a NATO summit in The Hague, but only if the truce holds. He posted on social media, Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it's a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. Then from on board...
I'll give him credit for this. This is what I was hoping he would do way before. When I voted for Trump, I knew that he had the capability of being able to get the Israelis in line, like in certain situations like this. The problem, though, is that though he can do it from time to time, he can't do it enough. Very difficult, man. A lot of political maneuvering and tactics need to be done to be able to control these motherfuckers, bro. Because, yo, all they do is subvert. You guys got to understand, bro. This is what they do. They're there to subvert, man. Let me read some chat. Khamenei, Kim, Elon send Trump to Bibi react. What? I don't know what that means, Pop. Okay. Bobby says, hey, bro, check out this summer's new anti-banger, fresh off the press, inspired by Boom Boom. It's Arab Money, remixed by APAC Money. Check Twitter and let me know what you think. The great noticing is upon us. SS Heitzman says, what's up, Myron and OSS? You brought up Jared Kushner last stream. Crazy that he's Ivanka Trump's husband. Yeah, bro. Yeah. On the last administration, he had quite a bit. He was like almost like similar to Steve Witkoff now. No one can really know what happened until a proper battle damage assessment is done. Yep. Richie says, why is Trump lying about the damage on nuclear facilities? Do you have OSS baseball caps? Do you ship to UK? I don't know about caps yet, but I'll talk to Brett about it. I don't know who that NYC mayor is, but the Israel shills hate him, so he got to be somewhat good, right? It's because they're crying, bro. That's crazy. We could talk about the NYC mayor, too. You sound like a hater reporting this fake news. All right. There you go. Respond is this Stephen 444 is retarded. What up, Myron? Thank you for all the info. I have my mom watching with me today. If you could give her a quick shout out, LOL, she doesn't know I'm sending this. Her name is Leah. All right, shout out to you, Leah. A guy from Canada. Hey, Myron, do you think the conflict between Iran and Israel could really lead to World War III? Which countries would have Iran at war? Russia's already busy with Ukraine. W show. Is Belmar coming this week? I don't know if he's coming this week. He's supposed to come, but he had a medical thing he had to deal with. I believe it when CNN isn't involved to the information dissemination. I've read all the info is still TS. If that's accurate, I hope it was worth the leaker. Yeah, I mean, the conflict between Israel and Iran could definitely lead to World War III. Almost brought us there. I mean, look, you guys got to understand that this ceasefire isn't going to last, because if you understand the conflict and you understand the bad blood between these countries, there's no way it's going to end. I mean, they just had parliament today in Iran, and they were saying that to America and Israel. So, bro, it's not over.
Air Force One in a call.
They're still pissed, man.
To the Israeli Prime Minister, which the White House described as exceptionally firm and direct, Trump demanded he stick to the ceasefire. And then posted again saying, Israel is not going to...
Yeah, he probably yelled at him. Oh, and shout out to SXM with the 10 gifted subs earlier in the show while I was doing the intro. Thank you so much on Kick. Dude, he probably yelled at him because it's like, bro, I went in and dropped bombs for you idiots and risked us getting into war. You better fucking stick to the ceasefire.
Attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home.
They actually did drop a bomb, but it wasn't anything crazy. I think they attacked one of their radar systems.
While doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. Nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect.
Hello, everybody. It's great to be with a friend of mine.
The NATO Secretary General, Mark Rutte, is hosting Donald Trump in The Hague tonight. They get on well, but he might be very surprised to find the text messages he sent praising the president posted on social media. He wrote, "Mr. President, dear Donald, congratulations and thank you for your decisive action in Iran. That was truly extraordinary, something no one else dared to do. It makes us all
political theater
safer."
About aggression by
On Air Force One, Mr. Trump is already talking about his desire to agree a ceasefire in Ukraine.
You know, I'd like to see a deal with Russia. As you know, Vladimir called me up. He said, "Can I help you with Iran?" I said, "No, I don't need help with Iran. I need help with you."
Donald Trump loves a grand VIP welcome, arriving at the Royal Palace in The Hague, where he's meeting.
Yeah, well, once you guys understand Trump, you guys are going to understand that he loves being admired. He loves being the guy that got something done. He likes being praised. And this all kind of feeds into his ego. You know, one thing you can kind of count on Mr. Trump is that he's going to do things so that he can brag about it later. Does that make sense, chat? So, like, for example, when he won the election in landslide, he still talks about that to this day, right? How he got the young vote, all this other stuff. You know, how they won, like, all the states and Kamala got destroyed. So, he likes to be able to take credit for things. So, this deal with Iran and the ceasefire, be ready. He's going to definitely want to take credit for that for a while.
Meeting other NATO leaders, talking to them about spending more on their own defence, about Ukraine, and what he considers to be his crowning achievement in the Middle East. It's being reported here in America tonight that those American airstrikes on Iran might not have done as much damage to their nuclear facilities as Donald Trump claimed when he said they had been completely obliterated. An early Defense Department assessment that's been leaked says that the core components of Iran's nuclear program may not have been destroyed, that the country might only have been set back a few months, and that much of their enriched uranium stockpiles could have been moved to secret sites before the attack. Now,
100%, bro. Guys, like I told you all this from before. This attack, right, was more symbolic and a show of force than anything else. Okay, it wasn't an attack to actually disrupt and dismantle their nuclear program, even though that's what it's being marketed as. Because the reality is they telegraphed it too goddamn much. Okay, they knew the attack was coming for years at this point. They know that everyone's known about these facilities for 3+ years, for years, before Trump even came in. I think they discovered Fordow in like 2009, chat. All right, like 2008, 2009, they found out that Fordow was there. So we're talking about damn near 20 years they've known about these facilities. So that gave Iran plenty of time to, number one, make other off-site secret facilities that people don't know about, and then number two, move the material before they were bombed. You know? So, because they know that, you know, the Israelis and the U.S. knew about these sites. And hell, they might even known about other sites that they didn't tell us about. But regardless, the Iranians knew this was coming. Matter of fact, one of their generals that was killed by Israel wasn't killed. He was alive. But Iran went with the narrative that he was dead. So you can see that the Iranians utilized some strategy through this conflict to kind of preserve what's going on. But yeah, one or two of the generals actually was not killed, contrary to what people said in the media. And Iran didn't correct them when they said that he was killed. They only found out that he was actually alive because after the ceasefire was done.
The White House are very angry.
He showed up at some kind of event in Tehran or something like that.
Angry about it. They've pushed back, saying this is flat wrong. The press secretary said everyone knows what happens when you drop 14 30,000-pound bombs perfectly on their target.
So look at this retard here. 100 Women versus Accountability says, Myron, thought you were America first. You're going against the land for content. You have more integrity than this. See, bro, here's the thing. Integrity is about telling the truth, whether it benefits me or not. Okay? The truth is, we did not destroy their nuclear program. The truth is, even if we did destroy it, like I said before many times, they can rebuild it. The truth is, unless you do a regime change, they're going to work even harder to get a nuclear bomb. Those three things are absolutely fact. So whether we destroy their nuclear program or not, they're definitely going to get one now to deter U.S. intervention in the future and or Israeli intervention in the future, because they know that's the only way that they're going to be able to maintain their sovereignty and prevent a regime change. Okay? Now, just because the mainstream media isn't reporting that, because they want you guys to think that they really destroyed their nuclear facility and they don't have the ability to rebuild back for years upon years upon years, doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Okay? So I'm giving you the Western news that you're used to, and then giving you guys further analysis based on a pattern of activity that's went on in the Middle East before. Make no mistake about it. As much as the United States says we don't want to do a regime change, or Israel doesn't want to do a regime change, they do want to do a regime change. It's just that their first plan failed. Operation Rising Lions, where they thought that would create chaos and people would say, all right, let's overthrow the government. It did not work. It actually backfired and united the government even more. Also, it showed Iran what Israel had as far as capability. And they burned their Mossad agents that were behind enemy lines to conduct this attack. So they did all of that, and they didn't take down the regime. They blew up some nuclear facilities that were known about for years. So, yeah, dude, if you're going to go ahead and say, I thought you were America first, blah, 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 because I'm not going ahead and kissing Trump's ass like all the other political commentators. Bro, if you want that, go watch Charlie Kirk. Go watch Daily Wire. Go watch Crowder. Go watch one of these guys. If you guys want people that are going to give you, you know, bullshit, pro-Israel, foreign policy analysis, and just always say, oh, I love Trump, no matter anything he does that's retarded, then go watch them. But I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm going to tell you guys what the fuck it really is. Okay? So, yeah, dude. Dude is stupid. And here's the other thing, too. If you want to go ahead and, you know, when I say America first, I'm America only. And my thing is, you guys need to understand what the fuck is really going on so you guys can understand how much our foreign policy is subverted.
Total obliteration, she said, but they're not saying the Defense Department assessment is untrue.
Sarah Smith, our North America editor, thank you. Well, Israel and Iran had launched large-scale attacks at each other overnight. In Iran, targets were hit.
Hey, guys, do me a favor. Smash that like button. We only got 600 likes, bro. We got like 2,500 you guys watching. Or no, 2,800 you guys watching. Smash the like button, guys. Smash that like button. Okay?
In the capital, Tehran, and in the northern region of Gilan, where local officials now say at least 16 people were killed. In Israel, the southern city of Beersheba was hit. 4 people were killed in a missile strike on a residential building. From Jerusalem, Lucy Williamson reports.
Beersheba was still a war zone this morning as Iran announced its commitment to peace. Rescue teams bringing out bodies from an apartment block hit in a final salvo of missiles, fired minutes before Iran agreed to the truce.
Now, also something that you guys important that you guys understand. Israel got hit a lot harder than the media lets you guys know as well, for certain reasons, for obvious reasons. During the 2 weeks of the war, of this conflict, Israel put out like a no recording type rule / law. And the reason for that is because if the people were putting out the pictures and video and photos of what was being hit, the Iranians would be able to fine-tune their missiles to be more accurate, and they didn't want that. So a lot of the information about the attacks in Israel specifically was suppressed by design, right? And there's a bunch of reasons why. You're talking about operational security, keeping the public from panicking, keeping people from running and leaving Israel. Because you guys got to remember that the whole state of Israel was created to make Jewish people feel safe. So if there's video and news out there showing that it's not safe, it's going to cause pandemonium. And Israel's a very small country, okay, with a small population. So they really need all their people. So having them going absolutely nuts and feeling as though they're not safe is not good for the country, okay? They've already taken quite a bit of economic hits. So they wanted to absolutely make sure that they could preserve the sanity of the people. So between the operational security, sanity of the people, also just like from a perspective of not letting the Iranians know how much damage was being done, but a considerable amount of damage was being done to Tel Aviv. As Iran, right? You guys know I've been pretty impartial about this. I told you guys both parties were getting beat up pretty damn bad when it came to this conflict. It's just that for some odd reason, the Western media wasn't showing you guys the devastation on the Israeli side, right? And that's by design. That's by design. So, but they were absolutely getting hit very hard as well. Both sides were. That's why both of them wanted to do the ceasefire. Both parties wanted to do the ceasefire for their own reasons. Israel wanted the ceasefire because they can no longer keep up shooting down those missiles. It was costing Israel hundreds of millions of dollars a day to shoot down the Iranian missiles that were coming in every day. And with Iran, they were getting their air defense destroyed and their military infrastructure destroyed. So they couldn't maintain that forever either. So both parties were beating each other up pretty badly and couldn't maintain it long term. That's why the ceasefire happened. Proficient, subscribe to OSS. Thank you, bro. Welcome to the team, man. We're 24 away, guys, from 1,500, man. Let's get to that 1,500 for the OSS. As you guys know, demonetized. Shout out to Legend Lurker with the subscription. Legend Lurker, welcome to the family. Yeah, as you guys know, demonetized on YouTube. I still stream here though because a lot of you guys like YouTube and you guys prefer YouTube. So only thing I ask is you guys support the channel. I'll continue to stream on YouTube for you guys. As long as, like, you know, if like 50% of people, 30 to 50% of people are on OSS, that will help offset, you know, the cost of streaming on YouTube. Because honestly, I lose money doing it. But I know a lot of you guys like it. So, you know, I want to stay on here for y'all, even though I don't get paid. So, you know, and also I'm working, guys. Me and Bills are working on getting you guys, because you guys can see on YouTube when I stream in 4K on YouTube, as you guys can see with the camera quality and stuff like that. We're working on finding a way to stream on 4K on Rumble. There is a way to stream on 4K on Rumble. The only thing is I'm trying to find a way where I could do it and I can show the super chats on screen for the Rumble rants for you guys. So I'm working on that. So I predict this week or next week we'll be streaming in 4K on Rumble as well. So the quality is going up everywhere, guys. Okay, but we'll stay on YouTube as long as we can. All right, because I know you guys enjoy watching on there. But 4K streaming on Rumble is coming soon. Let's see here. Debbie streamed with Anton last night. He was definitely cooking with bacon grease. I appreciate it, cutie man. Dr. Brett says, I think I know why the audio confusion. Whenever I listen on AirPods, the audio is always perfect and flawless. But whenever I listen in certain vehicles, through the car stereo, the audio is low. Yeah, I don't know, bro. If that ceasefire holds, I can hear Trump now. I did it. No other president could do it, and I did it. Yeah, absolutely. Now you're getting the idea. At White Man, we get D-class viewing of bombings. We do. White Man? You mean Whitman? D-class usually takes a bit in order to be viewed if you don't have a TS. I really believe when CNN isn't involved to the information dissemination. I've read all the info is still TS if that's accurate. Okay, they're leaker. Okay. Say swagger mean? Hey, Myron, some of my friends are starting to wake up to the truth behind the Zios. What should I say to them to increase their interest while not info dumping too much? Bro, let them find slowly but surely. Dumping it all on them at once is gonna scare them away.
One slice through the wall straight into a bomb shelter, rescuers said, killing several people.
Hey guys, smash the like button. We only got what? 920 likes? We got 3,000 ninjas in here, bro. We need to be at like 100% engagement, bro. Smash that like button. I don't want to stop the show. I don't want to stop the show. So just smash the like button, guys, if you're watching on YouTube. Shout out to all my guys watching on OSS. We're also live on Castle Club as well.
People inside.
It's not about how many landed, it's why are missiles still being targeted towards civilian buildings like this?
There's meant to be a ceasefire this morning.
Well, you know, actions speak volumes, and this speaks for itself.
I think Israel need to hit back Iran because Iran kill people. Iran said peace, but there is no peace, no peace.
As we were there, another alert came in, warning of more missiles fired from Iran, after Israel had also agreed to the truce. But Israeli planes on their way to retaliate were called back home on the orders of Donald Trump. Tonight, Israel's Prime Minister vowed to act against any new nuclear threat.
All the actions that our fighters have taken have brought Iran's nuclear program to ruins. And if anyone in Iran tries to revive this project, we will act with the same determination and strength to end any such attempt. I repeat, Iran will not have nuclear weapons.
Iran still has the capability to fire missiles at Israel and has warned of a powerful response to any further attacks. The war has shifted power in Israel.
See, look at how they've, united the country with their attacks.
Israel's favor. But tonight in Tehran, protesters called for their leaders to resist.
We must see it through to the end. There's no benefit in stopping now. Just like what happened in Gaza and Lebanon, Israel, America, and Trump himself cannot be trusted at all.
Guys, this is coming from the people. The people are behind the government now. We were hoping for a coup. We're hoping to put in a puppet regime to run Iran that's more Western friendly, like the Shah before the Iranian Revolution. But it backfired. Right? It backfired. Now they're even more emboldened to get the nuclear bomb. And you best believe they're going to continue to enrich uranium. They're going to continue to try to build a nuclear bomb. They're kicking IAEA out. And all these attacks did was confirm that they need the nuclear bomb to keep the West off their backs and keep them out of their affairs. That's all it did, bro. That's all it did. And I'll be honest with y'all, I'm starting to think that this was by design, because if you allow the nuclear program in somewhat tact and they restart it, guess what? You have an excuse to reinvade.
Iran will avenge the people you killed, said Suhaila. One day we'll catch you off guard. Be sure of that. In northern Israel today, a souvenir from 12 days of conflict. An interceptor used in Israel's air defenses. Israel says this short war has made the region safer by weakening Iran as a military threat. But it's weakened the regime as well. Lucy Williamson, BBC News, Beersheba.
All right, so this is Trump at the NATO responses, because obviously this intel report pissed him off.
We're with them, and they have very big things to announce today. I don't know if you've taken the vote or you're going to take the vote, but I've been asking them to go up to 5% for a number of years, and they're going up to 5%, and that's a big, from 2%. And a lot of people didn't even pay the 2%. So I think that's going to be very big news. NATO is going to become very strong with us, and I appreciate doing it. And perhaps you want to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me first, before I go to the spending, I just want to recognize your decisive action on Iran.
Thank you.
You are a man of strength, but you're also a man of peace. And the fact that you are now also successful in getting this ceasefire done between Israel and Iran, I really want to commend you for that.
Thank you very much.
And I think this is important for the whole world. Then on spending, it's absolutely true. I want to state here, without President Trump, this would not have happened. In 3 stages. When you became president in 2016, 2017, you forced Europeans and Canadians to pay more. At this moment, the result of that phase is $1 trillion extra aggregate defense spending by the Canadians and the Europeans. Then came phase 2, when you became president in January last year. Phase 2 is that all the countries not yet on 2% have now committed to the 2%. This is the old goal from Wales in 2014. 7 were not on 2%. Some were saying somewhere in the 2030s. Now this year, all of them, including Canada, including Italy, including Belgium, they have all now committed to the 2%. And now comes the big splash. Today, we will decide to go to 5%. We have to keep ourselves safe from our adversaries, but also because it is fair to equalize with the United States. With this 5%, the Europeans and the Canadians will equalize their defense spending with the United States. So this is not about American taxpayers paying more. This is about Europeans, Canadians paying more. And again, this would not have happened. I'm really saying this here, and some people might criticize me, but then when I speak with them, they all say, yes, you're right. This would not have happened if you would not have been here.
Also, actually, you know what? Let me show you guys what Steve Witkoff said.
So how did this ceasefire deal between Iran and Israel actually get negotiated? We know President Trump was directly involved talking with Bibi Netanyahu while Vance, Rubio, and my next guest talk with the Iranians. Here with what happened behind the scenes is Steve Witkoff, assistant to the president and special presidential envoy.
Basically, I'll be honest with you guys. This is like Trump's golfing buddy, Steve Witkoff. He was actually there when Trump almost got shot in September last year, if you guys remember, by the fucking crazy person, Ryan Ruth. The King says, what's up, Myron? Just a question. Immigration Supreme Court passed deporting illegals to countries outside their homeland. Seems like a dangerous move. Any thoughts? Yeah, that is kind of dangerous. I ain't gonna lie. That is kind of crazy. Before it used to be you only could deport them to their country. NBO5 Myron, you have to do a watch along of the BB Files crazy ass doc. Netanyahu and his creature looking wife are super corrupt. He's going to jail as soon as he ain't prime minister is not real. Well, that's why he's fighting to be in power so long, bro. Hey, Myron, found Fresh Fit 2 years ago, improved my life immensely. I had to join OSS. I'm from Jamaica, and you and Candace have the best and most detailed breakdown on conflict, and I've learned and understood way better. Brett is a fucking great clipper. The clip on Antonio is at 1.2 million views, so that speaks volumes. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, it is at 1.2 million. Shout out to my guy, Brett. You know, some people over here in the chat talk shit and say I shouldn't pay or take care of my guy, Brett. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck, man? Brett is a huge reason why this channel is doing well, where we're getting a lot of views. I think we're almost about to hit 15 million views for the month, guys. So, you know, channel's growing despite the fact that it's fucking demonetized. But yeah. Sorry, Myron. Well, Whiteman, AFB, Air Force Base, home of the B-2, trying to keep the messages short. Okay. If America turns on Israel one day, would you support getting drafted to go to war with Israel? What? Oh, you mean fighting against Israel? I'm too old, bro. I'm too old. They won't draft me, man. I'm 35, bro. So.
4 peace missions. Steve, you have a lot on.
Guys, we're at 1,200. Let's get to 2,000 ninjas. Got over 3,000 of you guys in here. Smash that like button.
Your plate, but you were tapped to help with this. How did we go from Israel bombing Iran and sending our B-2s with those bunker busters to brokering this ceasefire just days later? Take us on.
Boy said Lucas Gage on the front page of the newspaper Tehran Times for the Boom Boom Saga. LMAO, let's go. Yeah, it went viral. Bro, they banned him off everywhere, though. They banned him on YouTube today, and they banned him off one of the distros that lets you circulate your music. They banned him on everything. Rami says, hey, Myron, I'm the one living 10 minutes from the ICC, ISTG. They have cut off half of the city because of the NATO summit. You can't even get near the center of The Hague or the beach because of security reasons. Shit's crazy. Yeah, I mean, all the world leaders are there, bro, of course. I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. Have you seen the video of the Israeli man in Russia violently slamming an 18-month-old Iranian toddler headfirst into the floor? The child is currently in a coma. Yeah, bro, I did see that. It's fucking terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. I did see that on Twitter.
Inside these talks.
You know, Laura, I listened to your introduction, and you've got it right. So many people had it wrong about the president. He had an objective. He wouldn't have entered the war, entered this 12. President. He had an objective. He wouldn't have entered the war, entered this.
Now, you guys are probably wondering, why the fuck does this matter? Because they did everything in their power to say, we're not entering the war. This isn't a war, blah, blah, blah. But they know damn well it is a fucking war and they got involved. But the Trump administration is trying to paint it as though they're not going to war. J.D. Vance said on an interview, bro, he literally said, we're not at war with Iran. We're at war with Iran's nuclear program. What? Bro, come on, man. Come on, dude. Like, do you think we're retarded, J.D.? I know you went to Yale and all, but like, come on, man. Right? That's like the Japanese saying, yeah, we're at war with America's Navy. That's why we blew them up in Pearl Harbor. But we're not at war with the United States. Come on, bro.
12-day, as he calls it, war without that objective. The objective was to eliminate enrichment in Iran and weaponization capability on the part of Iran. And he achieved his objective. And he achieved it after 12 days. And so it was never going to be a forever war. It was never going to be a war just for war's sake. It was a war to achieve an objective that I think most Americans should be very, very satisfied with. I can tell you that I was in those discussions. I watched our commander-in-chief. He's got this uncanny ability to understand exactly when to push the button and when to pull out. He achieved his objective, and that was the end of it.
From the Iranian side of this, Steve, if you can share with us some of their concerns.
And just so you guys know, I called this last week. I told you guys this was going to happen. All you guys are going to see this week is we made one precise attack. There is no war. We're, limited. We got the peace treaty done. We got the ceasefire. That's what you guys are going to see all week this week. That's why Trump was so pissed off when he thought the ceasefire wasn't going to be done, because he took a lot of heat, guys, for bombing Iran. He did. Half the base voted for no new wars, and we all know that bombing a base, a nuclear facility, is an act of war.
And some of their promises, given what we've seen in some of the reports with this leaked intelligence early assessment of what we know right now. What did Iran actually pledge?
Well, Iran throughout, since this conflict began, we've been talking to them about having some sort of peaceful settlement. And Iran's one caveat has always been that Israel had to stop its campaign. And once Israel fulfilled its objective, which they did, and once the...
Quam says, Myron, when is Zoom call today and how do I join CC? Fresh did a Zoom call yesterday, bro. To join Castle Club, you gotta, it's literally just castleclub.tv or freshfit.locals.com. And then put in the code capital CC17, get your discount.
The United States fulfilled its objective, which it did, the total destruction of the enrichment capacity of the Iranian state. Then the president was able to go to both parties and get a ceasefire done. And by the way, the proof is in the pudding. No one's shooting at each other. It's over.
Steve,
for now,
this leaked intel assessment, it's an early look at what was actually accomplished on the ground, and I underline early, but it was leaked. Somebody decided to leak this from the DIA, and it's being used in the media, and it's all over today, that, aha, Trump said it was obliterated, but it's not obliterated. It's set back months, but it's not over from Iran's nuclear program's perspective. Your reaction to that, and I assume you know what we're talking about with this leaked intel report.
Well, it goes without saying that leaking that type of information, whatever the information, whatever side it comes out on, is outrageous. It's treasonous. So it ought to be investigated, and whoever did it, whoever's responsible for it, should be held accountable. It could hurt lives in the future. Leaking is a...
Yeah, that person's definitely going to get arrested by the Bureau. I'll tell you that right now, bro. They're absolutely going to do an investigation and find out who did it. That's for sure.
Completely unacceptable thing. But let me give you, because I've read all the damage assessment reports from not just our government, but from other governments. And I'm not going to get into anything that's top secret, but let me tell you for sure what happened here. There are three distinct facilities in Iran that we were concerned with. Isfahan, which is a conversion facility. You cannot weaponize unless you have what's called the conversion process at the beginning of enrichment, and then a conversion process to metallicize the material at the end of enrichment. That conversion facility, which as far as we know is the only facility in Iran that can do this, was completely destroyed at Isfahan. It's above.
So just so you guys know, so I made a Truth Social account, right, just to be able to monitor this, because Trump doesn't really tweet for obvious reasons. He hates Twitter, I think, because they fucking banned him from before. But we just caught the failing New York Times working with fake news, CNN cheating again. They try to demean the great work our B-2 pilots did, and they were wrong in doing so. These reporters are just bad and sick people. You would think they would be proud of the greatest success we had instead of trying to always make our country look bad. Total obliteration. He went ahead and this was 4 hours ago. And then he, Israel just stated that the nuclear sites were obliterated. Thank you for our great B-2 pilots and all others involved. Right, so he's not happy with this intel report. I guarantee you the FBI is trying to track down who it is right now. He probably called Kash Patel directly and told him, I need you to find out who the fuck leaked this from the DIA. So yeah. But yeah, you could tell he's not happy about this shit.
Elected to 20.
My bad.
Above ground, it was hit with a 30,000-pound bunker buster, and it could not survive that hit. So they have no conversion opportunity, and that means they cannot weaponize, even if they've enriched to 90%. Then there are two other nuclear reactors in Natanz, one above ground and one below ground. The below ground one we know we eviscerated, and the above ground one, which had been hit by the Israelis and had been substantially damaged, we put another bomb on top of it just to make sure that it was eviscerated, and we know for a fact it was. Fordo is the last enrichment reactor that was operating there, and we put 12 bunker buster bombs on Fordo. There's no doubt that it breached the canopy. There's no doubt that it was well within reach of the depth that these bunker buster bombs go to, and there's no doubt that it was obliterated. So the reporting out there that
and again, even if they did obliterate it, which I'm not even going to dispute that they did or didn't. Okay, let's assume they did obliterate it. It doesn't matter because they moved all the main shit out, bro. There's very strong. Also, they saw on radar that or satellite. It might have been radar or satellite. That there was a line of cars outside of Fordo prior to it being bombed. So, dude, they moved a bunch of this shit out of there, man.
In some ways suggests that we did not achieve the objective is just completely.
Because, guys, look, both things can be true. They could have destroyed Fordo, but still maintained their nuclear program because they moved out all the most important stuff. Okay? So, completely possible that they did actually destroy the nuclear facility. However, they did not incapacitate their ability to still be able to build a bomb.
Really preposterous.
So your conclusion tonight, seeing what you've seen, is that Iran could not resume its nuclear enrichment program within a matter of months.
It's not even conceivable. The destroying of the conversion facility, which not a lot of people are aware of, that stops the enrichment process in the beginning. And it's needed to finish the enrichment process. Once you get to 90%, you now must metallicize the material, shape it into a round ball, a round metallic ball. That round metallic ball goes into the bomb. Without conversion, you can't begin enrichment, and you can't end enrichment in a successful weaponization. That was taken out. Then on top of that, the nuclear reactors, again, as I said, 2 in Natanz, 1 in Fordo, all 3 of those had if not all of the centrifuges damaged or destroyed in a way that it will be almost impossible for them to resurrect that program for, in my view, and in many other experts' views who have seen the raw data, it will take a period of years.
Senator Mark Kelly joined a chorus of Democrat senators who expressed deep concern about what may not have gone right with this. Watch.
Because of these, unconstitutional actions, we don't know where the uranium is. We don't know if we destroy these sites. And we don't know if the Iranians are going to race to the development of a nuclear weapon.
Oh, no, we can absolutely, guys, look, if there's one thing you guys can take from the bank, if there's one thing you guys can take from this broadcast right now as I'm talking to you guys, it is simply this. They are going to fight tooth and nail to get a nuclear bomb now. You guys could take that one to the bank. That's without a doubt. This is the hardest they've ever been hit, okay, in decades. They know that the U.S. and Israel is on them, and they know that Israel understands that Iran is the last domino left in their plan to take over the Middle East. And they are going to fight tooth and nail to get a nuclear weapon so that they can ensure that Israel does not execute the regime change. Because for Israel to execute the regime change that they want, they must denuclearize them first. That is phase 1. So they need to get that nuclear bomb to do what? Deter Israel. That's what this is about, chat. This is about deterring Israel from effectuating a regime change. And nuclear weapons is one of the best ways to do that. So they are absolutely going to go ahead and get a nuclear bomb now. Whether they go ahead and rebuild a facility, whether they already have a facility that we don't know about and they're refining it right now as we speak, or whether they have an offsite at another country where they're enriching uranium and trying to build a weapon. Regardless, now they're going to do it even more so. Our diplomacy, the fact that we feigned diplomacy over these past 60 days and we changed the terms and conditions, this did not sit well with them. So they're going to 100% go ahead and try to enrich now. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Like, that's one thing you guys could take to the bank, is they're absolutely going to try to enrich now. There's no way that they don't, because they understand that's the only way that they're going to be able to defend themselves. So it is what it is.
Wind up with a situation that's similar to what we're dealing with North Korea. Nobody wants that. I think the best way to deal with it now is if we can get back to the negotiating table. Talk about this. There was no plan here. There was no goals.
Take it away, Steve.
I listened to these things. Of course there was a plan here. There was an objective. The objective was eradicate nuclear enrichment capability, which we did. And even if there was nuclear material that was hidden, it was then to eradicate the conversion building, the conversion process that existed at Isfahan, which we did, which now rendered it absolutely impossible to weaponize.
Well, he doesn't care about knowing
no
this,
matter
or what?
what.
I mean, they either don't care about the details. I presume.
See, they're missing the argument. It's not that people aren't saying that the facility wasn't destroyed. What people are skeptical about is that, number one, let's assume you destroyed everything. They could rebuild it. Number two, the other option, they have other sites that we don't know about that they're rebuilding it. Number three, they could be rebuilding it outside of the goddamn country with one of their allies. So we don't know. We really don't know.
He's a very smart individual. He would be able to comprehend those details, but they're not interested in the truth. They're interested in a political smear of this administration without any sense of, of magnanimity or common sense. And I got to say, Americans are watching this tonight, and they just throw their hands up. They don't know. They don't even have a response to that. But I've got to ask you one question, because what comes next, Steve? To negotiate a deal with Iran, as the ceasefire we hope holds, what would that?
Guys, I'm only reading chats 5 and above, unless you're a member of OSS. If you're a member of OSS, I read those. So let me know.
Look like, given what you've concluded about this uranium enrichment and the overall program? Obviously, you have to get inspectors in there. How would that be different from previous efforts to hold Iran accountable through inspections?
Well, first of all, the IEA is involved. By the way, the IEA, Rafael Grossi, I've talked to each and every day, multiple times. He agrees with the assessments that I'm giving you tonight, Laura.
Yeah, well, IEA is going to get banned from Iran. They're not letting them back in. Another thing, too, the Iranians don't trust IEA because IEA has, given information to the Israelis in the United States as far as like who the nuclear scientists are and shit like that. How do you guys think the Israelis have been able to assassinate the nuclear scientists? So they're 100% not going to open up their facilities to the IEA anymore. That's cooked.
There's plenty of backup for my.
Or if they do, they're going to open it up kind of like the Israelis did for the Kennedy administration, make like fake reactors and shit.
For the administration's opinion here, with regard to the Iranians, the president has said unequivocally that he wants to see, and he's hopeful for, a comprehensive peace agreement that goes beyond even the ceasefire. We're already talking to each other, not just directly, but also through interlocutors. I think that the conversations are promising. We're hopeful that we can have a long-term peace agreement that resurrects Iran, that brings it into the League of Nations, that creates long-term prosperity for Iran, and most importantly, allows for the GCC to grow economically. Eliminating this risk was crucial to the economic future and prosperity of the entire Gulf region. And we've achieved that. So I think now it's time for us to sit down with the Iranians and get to a comprehensive peace agreement. And I'm very confident that we're going to achieve that.
Well, that's exciting. Steve, I have about 15 seconds. Will you allow any uranium enrichment in this deal?
No.
Yeah, that came after they already had multiple talks, and you know, that was a non-starter for the Iranians.
Oh.
But I did a whole video on this. I said that was us, you know, feigning diplomacy to buy time so that they can bomb them.
That's 15 seconds.
Need it, Laura. They don't need it. What they need, what they need is a civil non-enrichment program, just like Abu Dhabi has. They're running a reactor like that called Boucher, where they don't have enrichment and they're getting fuel from the outside. And we're going to work with them on this. But what they don't need is enrichment.
Steve, thank you very much for.
Well, now they definitely need it. Now they definitely need it. All right, let's move forward with this. Trump's response.
No, they won't do that. The last thing they want to do, Katie, is enrich.
Okay, now he's going to talk about Iran here.
What was your question?
What is your response to the Iranian foreign minister continuing to say Iran will enrich uranium and pursue nuclear weapons?
Oh, boy.
Welcome. Punch!
What did I tell you guys? Guys, I didn't watch this press conference, by the way, beforehand. I'm just telling you guys what the fuck it is, bro. I just know what's going to happen.
Well, I don't know if they've said that, but I'll tell you, the last thing they want to do is enrich anything right now. They want to recover. And we won't let that happen, number one. Militarily, we won't. I think we'll end up having somewhat of a relationship with Iran. I see it. Look, I've had a relationship over the last 4 days. They agreed to the ceasefire. And it was a very equal agreement. They both said that's enough.
Yeah, it's going to be so that they can both recoup in recovery, both Israel and Iran, and continue to fight. That's the reality of why they're accepting this this ceasefire. That's really what it comes down to. This conflict is never going to end until one of them is destroyed. Israel's not going to stop trying to destroy them until they get a regime change, and Iran is not going to stop trying to get a nuclear weapon. Really what it comes down to is who can get to their objective faster. If Iran can get to their nuclear weapon faster, that will put Israel in a very difficult position where regime change is damn near impossible because now they have the deterrent of nuclear weapons. Or Israel will remove the regime before they could get nuclear weapons and install a puppet government. But one of those two things is going to happen first. So that's kind of what it is. Quick word from our sponsor, by the way, guys. As you guys know, demonetized on YouTube, so we got to fucking support ourselves over here. Okay, quick little message from our sponsors. We got this exclusive community for you guys where we could talk about the stuff that we want to talk about. The O/Squad, aka the OSS, is finally here. But without further ado, guys, you're going to get a bunch of perks from joining. Number one, you're going to be able to call into the show when I have call-in sections on the debrief. I'm going to be talking to the OSS members only on there. Also, you guys are going to get discounts on merch and exclusive drops that only OSS members have access to. On top of that, we're going to do one annual meetup completely free on 420 once a year right here in Miami. And then on top of that, whenever I travel, I'm going to let you guys know with the Telegram chat so you can go ahead and do a meetup there because you're an OSS member. My goal here, guys, is to have you guys be able to support the mission without breaking the bank. We're going to keep membership dues low. You're obviously going to get discounts with annual codes and all types of opportunities to get a better price point. This is basically going to be done so we can continue doing what we're doing, expand the debrief, expand the O/Squad, and be able to have the independence, quite frankly, that is very tough to come by nowadays in a pro-censorship regime. All right. Yeah, man. So, guys, running a special, $4 to join now. And that's the best way. And then it goes up to $10 after that. We're going to start doing the call-ins after in July. We're going to start doing the call-ins in July. So it's going to be a good time, guys. Going to weave it into the show.
Both said it. But
and merch is going to come on July as well.
No, they won't do that. The last thing they want to do, Katie, is enrich. They're not looking to. They're not. Can you imagine after all that they're going to say, "Oh, let's go and do a bomb." There could be a day in the future, and then somebody else taking our place will be saying, "Don't do it," and maybe they won't do it as well. I don't know, but they're not going to have a bomb, and they're not going to enrich. And we believe all of the stuff is down there. We don't think they had nearly the time because to get that out is a very difficult thing. It's not like moving a package or taking this carpet up and moving it. It's very difficult. It's very dangerous to do. We believe it's all down there. We had a tremendous victory, a tremendous hit, and because of that, I don't think they would have been down there because they knew we were coming. When they know we're coming, they're not going to be down in that 30 stories underground. So, no, I think it was just a tremendous victory for everybody, including Iran. Look, you know, they've got a country, and they've got oil, and they're very smart people, and they can come back. Israel got hit very hard, especially the last couple of days. Israel was hit really hard. Those ballistic missiles, boy, they took out a lot of buildings. And
there you go.
Falcon punch!
Like, bro, what did I tell you guys? Everyone's calling me a hater. Why are you pro-Iran, blah, blah, blah. Here's the President of the United States telling you guys what I've been telling you for damn near 2 weeks, that Israel's getting fucked up. Am I vindicated again or what, bro? I've been telling you guys this shit, bro, that Israel's getting fucked up, and people tell me that's not true, arguing me in Twitter spaces and shit like that. Like, well, that's not true, this is misinformation, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, bro, they are absolutely getting hit hard. President of the United States confirming what the fuck I said, bro. God damn, man.
And they've been great. Tremendous victory for everybody, including Iran. Look, you know, they've got a country, and they've got oil, and they're very smart people, and they can come back. Israel got hit very hard, especially the last couple of days. Israel was hit really hard.
Yep. Albanian Don, thank you for the gifted sub, bro. You gifted a sub to Kessler. Just so you guys know, for those of you that are watching on Kick, if you guys are brokies and you guys want to be able to use the emotes that we got, the funny emotes we got, it's only for subscribers. Say you're a brokey, and then somebody will probably gift you a sub on Kick, man. We've got some generous people over there. So, yeah. So, hold on, man. We got an audio trolling here. Yeah, you're banned forever, nigga. Look, man, I let you guys yap and say what you guys got to say, but when you say dumb shit like this guy's trying to say and derail the show, I'm not even going to bother dealing with him because I know the audio is good. Let's see here.
Those ballistic missiles, boy, they took out a lot of buildings. And they've been great. Bibi Netanyahu should be very proud of himself. And they've really been great. But they're not going to be building bombs for a long time.
Mr. President, what's your reaction to the intelligence reports saying that the Iranian nuclear sites were only partially...
Yeah, we're going to talk about Diddy next, guys. And yeah, by the way, the charges didn't get dropped, retarded ass niggas. They dropped some of the charges, but the most serious ones are still sticking.
Yeah, well, they said it was actually the report said it could have been very, they don't know. I mean, they did a report. I could have Pete talk to it because his department did the report. They really don't know. I think Israel's going to be telling us very soon because Bibi is going to have people involved in that whole situation. We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration. When you take a look at the ground above, don't forget, the flame is all underground. But everything above, if you look at the before and the after picture, everything above is burned black. The trees, everything. There's one building, but that's a building that sunk substantially into the granite. So that, you know, the fire goes right over it. It was, I believe it was total obliteration. I believe they didn't have a chance to get anything out because we acted fast. If it would have taken 2 weeks maybe, but it's very hard to remove that kind of material. Very hard and very dangerous for them to remove it.
All right, let me give you guys a warning, bro. Some of you guys in here. Bro, if you guys troll about the audio, it's an automatic ban. All right, because we've had people come in and say dumb shit about the audio, and the audio is fine. So if you come in and you troll about the audio, you're going to get fucking banned, bro. I'm just warning you guys right now. There's not much stuff I ban on. You know, normally you guys can say whatever you guys want, talk shit, whatever. People will be in here in the chat always talking shit. But when it comes to audio, because that derails the show, you will get fucking banned. So I'm just warning some of you guys. Some of you niggas like to sit here and say, oh, audio is bad, thinking it's funny. You're going to get banned for that shit. So just warning some of you guys, bro. Also, we got almost 4,000 you guys watching. Smash that like button, guys.
Plus, they knew we were coming. And if they know we're coming, they're not going to be down there. There aren't too many people that are going to be down there. Pete, do you have something to say about that?
Well, Mr. President, when you talk to the people who built the bombs...
All right, that's Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, and obviously Marco Rubio, Secretary of State.
Understand what those bombs can do and deliver those bombs. They landed precisely where they were supposed to, so it was a flawless mission.
Alboy says, check this new tweet from Trump. Seems important and the audio is good, bro. Don't listen to the trolls. Yeah, bro, it's really annoying because I put a lot of work into making sure the audio is good, and when niggas troll like that and stop the show, it's fucking annoying, dude. It drives me up the wall. You know, they're fucking probably listening on some shitty ass speakers or some shit like that. It's like, bro, what the fuck, man? Okay, here, okay, so it looks like Trump just dropped a tweet. I'll go over this tweet after Albo.
Flawless. Right down where we knew they needed to enter, and given the 30,000 pounds of explosives and capability of those munitions, it was devastation underneath Fordo. And the amount of munitions, 6 per location, any assessment that tells you it was something otherwise is speculating with other motives. And we know that because when you actually look at the report, by the way, it was a top secret report, it was preliminary, it was...
Yeah, that means that they're doing an investigation right now to find that person and arrest them. Guarantee you there's an FBI case open on this fucking leak.
Low confidence. All right, so this is you make assessments based on what you know. They don't.
They said it could be very devastating, very serious.
Moderate to severe, and we believe far more likely severe and obliterated. So this is a political motive here.
Is there a leak investigation?
Of course, we're doing a leak investigation with the FBI right now.
I told y'all niggas, bro.
Falcon punch.
Because this information is for
and probably the Department of Defense Office of Inspector General also is going to be involved. DOD, OIG, as you guys know, the OIG, Office of Inspector General, they oversee government agencies, and they have special agents that do criminal investigations, so they're going to try to figure out where the leak came from.
Internal purposes, battle damage assessments, and CNN and others are trying to spin it to make the president look bad when this was an overwhelming success.
We had a tremendous success, and this is the New York Times. I call it the failing New York Times. It's going to hell.
Ah, man, bro, this guy. I'll tell you guys this. It is funny when Trump makes fun of the media, and calls them, gives them like nicknames for why they suck. It's just funny shit, bro.
And CNN, which, as you know, very few people are watching, and you would think they'd do the opposite. You would think they'd want to say this was an unbelievable success. And the thing that hurts me is it's really demeaning to the pilots and the people that put that whole thing together, the generals. That was a perfect operation. And when you look at the holes, and this was done from 52,000 feet, there was no moon, there was no light, and those 3 holes are right together. And also, and nobody talks about this, we shot 30 Tomahawks from submarines, in particular one submarine, but that was 400 miles away. Mm-hmm. And every one of those Tomahawks hit within a foot of where they were supposed to hit, took out a lot of buildings that Israel wasn't able to get. We took them out with Tomahawks. We don't even talk about that. This was a devastating attack, and it knocked them for a loop. And, you know, if it didn't, they wouldn't have settled. If they had won, if we didn't take it out, they wouldn't have settled. Somebody mentioned that to me last night. If that thing wasn't devastated, they would have never settled. Marco, do you have something to say?
No, first of all this stuff about the intelligence, this is what a leaker is telling you the intelligence says. That's the game these people play. They read it, and then they go out and characterize it the way they want it characterized, and they're leakers. This is the game they play. So that's number one. Number two, here's a fact. The conversion facility, which you can't do a nuclear weapon without a conversion facility. We can't even find where it is, where it used to be on the map. You can't even find where it used to be because the whole thing is just blackened out. It's gone.
It's wiped out.
It's wiped out. Then we dropped 12 of the strongest bombs on the planet right down the hole in 2 places. Everything underneath that mountain is in bad shape. And I refer you to the statement of the IAEA, Mr. Grossi. You know what he said? He said there was Iran, the way it looked the day before the attack, and what their nuclear program looks like now. 2 very different things. They are way behind where they were just 7 days ago. Now, anything in the world can be rebuilt, but now we know where it is. And if they try to rebuild it, we'll have options there as well. But all this leaker stuff, these leakers are professional stabbers. That's what they are. They go out and they read this stuff, and then they tell you what it says against the law, but they characterize it for you in a way that's absolutely...
Yeah, Marco Rubio in the house. Look, again, I've told you guys this before, I'll say it again. Assuming they absolutely destroyed their nuclear program, it doesn't matter. They still have the scientists. They still have the infrastructure. Iran has proven several times that they've mastered the cycle of enriching uranium, right? They have the scientists' capabilities and, technology to do it. So no one is disputing that they destroyed the facilities, right? Because my thing is, whether they destroyed it or not, that's not really that important. Because until you get rid of the regime, it doesn't matter. They can rebuild it. That's the important thing that you guys need to understand. Unless you remove the regime, they can rebuild it. Okay? And they will rebuild it. They will absolutely rebuild it. So I think that's a very important distinction that people need to pay attention to.
False. There's no way Iran comes to the table if somehow nothing had happened. This was complete and total obliteration. They're in bad shape. They are way behind today compared to where they were just 7 days ago because of what the president did.
Marco, can I just alert you to one other aspect? So the great thing is you took out the nuclear capability of Iran. This was crucial. You did it in a way which is extremely impressive. But the signal sends to the rest of the world that this president, when it comes to it, yes, he is a man of peace, but if necessary, he is willing to use strength, the enormous strength of the American military. So I think that signal to the rest of the world, this is far beyond Iran, is extremely important. So let me also point us to that.
And for you guys, I just increased my volume to 150% on OBS. I'm adjusting on OBS because I see some of you niggas are still crying. This guy, G Canto, sent $5. He's like, can you raise the volume, bro? I'm listening to my AirPods on full volume and I'm not lying. Your AirPods probably suck because I'm looking right now and the volume is literally like, yeah, damn near getting into the red line, bro. So you guys be fucking trolling, bro. I chatted in last night. Audio is good on AirPods and I usually on rock one at a time. Was 7 out of 10 now, 9.5 out of 10. No need to mess with it and risk fucking up the quality or settings. Okay, cool. Thank you, Trey Love. I appreciate that. I know you're an audio engineer. So since you're an audio engineer, Trey Love, what I just did literally seconds before I read your chat is I upped my my OBS volume to 150% and then the desktop audio is 100%. So it's 50% louder on my microphone versus the audio that's playing on the desktop. So that should make it better as well. Daryl Philbin, so you're telling me that they only have an overhead visual of the damages, not on the ground confirmation. Yeah, from what I know, I don't think they have ground confirmation. Because remember, they wanted to get in and out, chat. It would be way too dangerous to have ground reconnaissance. Bobby Trauma, W Audio, appreciate that, bro. The audio's fine, keep cooking. People get in the OSS. You can't support your boy, but you're paying for Netflix. Get your shit together. I appreciate that, Red Pill Factory. Yeah, guys, the best way to support, man, like I said, only $4 to join. It's $10 after that. And that's how I'm able to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, YouTube demonetized me because they fucking suck, and you guys know I hate YouTube, but I still stream on here because a lot of you guys prefer to watch on YouTube. Are you going to watch Tate and Bonnie Blue? Yes, on Fresh and Fit tonight. Myron, there's so many idiots in chat. Some guy said, why are you defending Iran? Do you want them to get nukes? Do you even want to see America win? So retarded. Iran is Israel's enemy, not the U.S. Thank you very much, Tusi. You have half a brain. Look, let me be very, I know some of you guys that are in chat are frustrated with some of the idiots, right? So let me just explain this for you guys because I think it's important that you guys understand this. Guys, right? You guys got to understand one thing. Most people in America are stupid, okay? The people that follow politics mostly are still older people that are boomers, okay? And these boomers believe what Fox News tells them. They think Israel's our greatest ally. And you also got to remember, in the conservative world, in the Republican world, in the right-wing world, okay, them boys, okay, still run shit, okay? The Democratic Party and the left, you can make the argument that, you know, they don't have as much influence. Zionists don't have as much influence. But on the right, the Republican Party, the GOP, conservative media, oh, they definitely still control shit, okay? And keep in mind that Republicans are far more likely to consume legacy media like Fox, etc., New York Post, these right-wing type media outlets. So with that said, a lot of them aren't based, okay, guys? Like being critical of Israel, talking about this topic, understanding foreign policy from the Middle East, very few people can do it, right? And very few people do understand it because for you to really understand them boys and their control over our country and how they subvert, you must understand foreign policy in the Middle East. I've explained this a million times. Right? It's not enough to just know. It's not enough to just know how they do things here in America because that's just only going to give you a part of the picture. But for you to really understand how shit goes, you need to understand Middle Eastern foreign policy because then everything will make sense and you'll be able to bring everything full circle. Does that make sense, chat? So That's why it's so important to know this stuff. Now, since a lot of this stuff is like new, right? Especially for boomers, they're going to look at it with skepticism. They're going to say dumb shit like, why do you support Iran, right? When in reality, I'm just like objectively reporting here on Middle Eastern foreign policy. Now, it might come off that I'm, being supportive of Iran, but that's not what it is. It's that I have to give you guys the ulterior, the other side, because American media doesn't cover it. So it comes off as me supporting Iran. But honestly, I'm keeping 1,000 with y'all. I don't give a fuck about Iran, bro. I really don't. I really don't. But since the fucking media here lies so much because we know who runs it, okay? When I tell you guys the truth, it comes off in a way where it might be like, oh, yeah, this guy supports Iran. No, I'm just telling you guys, this is their perspective, and this is what's really happening. This is what they're not telling you, right? For example, one of the biggest mainstream lies. Oh, they can't enrich uranium. But you guys had 6 meetings. You had 6 meetings pretty much, five that actually went through. You guys told them up front that they could enrich uranium. Then you guys changed the rules later on. And the Iranians told them from the beginning, and uranium enrichment that's announced. If we can't enrich uranium, there's nothing to talk about. So why did the U.S. enter negotiations if they knew that this was a non-starter? I'll tell you why. To buy time so that they can go ahead and plan this operation, this B-2 bomber operation. As you guys can tell, because I did a whole breakdown on the press conference Saturday morning as they were doing it live, right? It was a very sophisticated operation. We're talking about a lot of assets working in tandem with each other. That takes months to plan, chat. Months. So this 60-day window was literally to plan that B-2 bomber attack. That's what it was. We were the ones stalling for time, despite the fact that Marco Rubio went on Fox News that day and said they were stalling for time. No, we were stalling for time. We were. We were the ones that were making the offensive attack. But they're not going to tell you this. So I have to tell you this. And then I get idiots that say, well, Myron, why are you pro-Iran? No, retard. I'm pro-truth. And unfortunately, American and Western media tends to lie a lot. Now, look, I know some of you guys love Brett Baer and fucking Jesse Waters and Tommy Lahren and all these other fucking people. But the reality is, during wartime, they're going to withhold information from you. It's just how things go. It is what it is. So, because keep in mind, guys, I have a very diversified array of where I get my information. I'm on Twitter. I'm watching mainstream media. I'm watching Al Jazeera. I'm watching literally ABC, CNN, CNBC, Al Jazeera, Twitter. I'm on Rumble watching different independent reporters and independent journalists. I'm watching different podcasts. And what I'm able to do is I'm able to take information from all these different angles and kind of give you guys, look, this is probably what happened, or this is definitely what happened. Right? So, look, if you niggas want to, sit here and watch me glaze Donald Trump's foreign policy and shit like that, bro, go watch Charlie Kirk. Go watch Mike Knowles. Go watch Matt Walsh. Go watch Steven Crowder. Go watch Bongino. Like, all these guys can give you all that, bro. You don't got to watch this shit. Over here, I'm gonna give you guys the fucking real deal, because the Zionist media doesn't control me. It's actually quite the contrary. They try to fucking shut me up. So if you guys want, like, the mainstream narrative, go watch Fox News. A lot of you bitch-ass niggas are over here crying like, oh, bro, this is pro-Iran talk. No, man, it's pro-truth, bro. It's pro-truth. That's what it is. So if you don't like it, bro, there's plenty of conservative political commentators that you go watch that are super pro-Trump that will not criticize him. Go watch Charlie Kirk, bro. That's all I got to say.
Aspect of what happens.
They went down, Iran went down to the site afterwards. They said it's so devastated, and they settled when they saw what we did to it. And frankly, if we didn't do that, they would have had a lot of ammunition to keep going. They wouldn't have settled. Somebody brought that up, and 2 Iranians went down to see it, and they called back, and they said, this place is gone. So it's just fake news by CNN, which has got no ratings. It's a failed network. Anybody here from CNN, by the way? Because you're a really disgraceful network. MSNBC, I think, is actually worse. But they're all pretty bad. But yours is good, Katie, I'll tell you.
Mr. President,
You know what Marco reminded me that he did such a nice job there. It was 9 years ago I had to debate this guy. He was not easy. I think he even got better. But when you were into your little thing, I said, this is when I had to debate this guy. You think it's easy to debate? It's not easy.
How long do you think that the Iranian nuclear program has been put back by these strikes? Years or totally obliterated?
I think basically decades, because I don't think they'll ever do it again. I just don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to take their oil, they're going to have some missiles, and they'll have some defense. I think they've had it.
And just so you guys know, my foreign policy, I think I've said it on Twitter, but my foreign policy is I want no interventionism. Okay? I'm anti-war and anti-interventionist. So that is why I have the viewpoint that I have. I don't give a fuck if Iran gets nukes, honestly. Okay? Because I think Israel is far more dangerous with nukes. All right? Because at least Iran tried to comply with the IAEA, right? At least they had declared their nuclear program. Israel doesn't declare their program and is doing a fucking genocide right now. Okay? So, me, I don't believe in interventionism at all, especially with military. Okay? I don't believe in military interventionism. So, that is why I have the stance that I have. This is why when I say, yo, I think that they have, Iran is an independent country, they're a sovereign state, I think they have the right to defend themselves, just like Israel has the right to defend itself, just like the United States has the right to defend itself. So if a country is trying to destroy your country and they're trying to effectuate regime change so they can be the hegemony in your region, they should have the right to be able to defend themselves. So that's what it is. Okay? They have the right to self-defense, and they were attacked. Our Article 51 was triggered. They were attacked. And they were able to defend themselves. So, bro, it is what it is, man. Samir Mendelsohn gave $100 million to Trump for his campaign to protect Israel, and in the process ruined the preparation of him in the United States. This is more proof that women fuck up societies. Yeah, D-Lite, that's why we watch you, bro. I got you, man. Yeah, because, dude, everyone else on the right is retarded. They're cucked. I support Ian. Fuck the Yehud. I read this guy. You can tell this guy's an Arab. Because Benny Boy needs to be humbled. Okay, I mean, Netanyahu. I'm listening on $35 earbuds, and I have no problem with the volume. Thank you, bro. Unforgiven says your audio is perfect, your cameras are perfect. Just keep cooking, bro. Some dumbasses can never be pleased. Yeah, I know, man. We're charged through the WAP app for a CC premium 65 twice, but have locals for 35. OSS annual. Who do I talk to get this rectified? Yo, send a chat in when Noble's in studio for after hours. Yo, Myron, join Noah says after you responded to my question with, of course, you should, motherfucker, W. Myron Newsman. Yo, bro, I mean, like I said, and that's from Osama Jim Laden, bro. Demetrius, if you bitch-ass niggas watch over 2 times a week, you better join Noah says. If you can't afford $10 a month, you shouldn't even be watch. I appreciate that, Demetrius. Yeah, it's, and I'm going to keep it at $10 a month, man. I'm going to keep it nice and cheap for y'all. And, you know, the first month is $4. Or you can get it for the year for $75. Thank you so much, Demetrius, for that. Nice meeting you 2 weeks ago, by the way. Volume is A1, Myron. Don't fall for the trolls, bro. I know, man. Oh, and by the way, niggas, I'll be out there this Friday doing more debates. It's going to be a great time. I can hear much better, thanks. No worries, G. Canto. Thank you for your feedback. So you're telling me that they only had an overhead visual damages? Oh, okay, yeah. That's what they have. Yep.
I mean, they just went through hell. I think they've had it. The last thing they want to do is enrich. They've been trying to do it. By the way, it's hard to enrich. And, you know, when you look at a site like that, very, very hard to build. Very, very hard, very expensive. They spent trillions of dollars trying to do this thing, and they didn't come up with it. And we're actually getting along with them very well right now. But had we not succeeded with that hit ended the war. That hit ended the war. I don't want to use an example of Hiroshima. I don't want to use an example of Nagasaki. But that was essentially the same thing. That ended that war. This ended that with the war. If we didn't take that out, they'd be fighting right now.
Mr. President?
Yeah.
If the Iranians do rebuild, would the United States...
If they rebuild?
Would the United States strike again? And I've also a question about Russia.
But I'm not going to have to worry about that. It's gone for years. Very tough to rebuild because the whole thing has collapsed. In other words, inside, it's all collapsed. Nobody can get in to see it because it's collapsed. You can't go in to see a room that has, 10 million tons of rock in it. and the tunnels are totally collapsed.
But if they rebuild?
Well, they've already looked at the tunnels. This was an unbelievable hit by genius pilots and genius people in the military, and they're not being given credit for it because we have scum that's in this group, and not all of you are. You have some great reporters, but you have scum. CNN is scum. MSDNC is scum.
Kwame from Castle Club says, is there any way I can get in touch with Fresh on CC or Zoom calls? The only way. Super chat in your question today when we do the Andrew Tate episode with Bonnie Blue and ask him what you need to, bro. We might be able to handle it in a super chat instead of you coming in for a Zoom. But it depends on how complex it is. But yeah, go ahead and we got you.
The New York Times is scum. They're bad people. They're sick. And what they've done is they're trying to make this unbelievable victory into something less. Now, even they admit that it was hit very hard, okay? But it wasn't hit hard. It was hit brutally, and it knocked it out. The original word that I use, I guess it got us in trouble.
No. Tate's not coming. We're just reacting to the Bonnie Blue episode.
Because it's a strong word. It was obliteration. And you'll see that. And it's going to come out. Israel is doing a report on it now, I understand. And I was told that they said it was total obliteration. You know, they have guys that go in there after the hit. And they say it was total obliteration. And, you know, I don't want it for me. I want it for the pilots. I want it for the military. They did such a good job. If you were in the situation...
And just so you guys know, we're going to have a Telegram group, a Discord. That's coming in July. Right, I'm running this sale now because we're going to do like the full-on launch with OSS in July, guys. July 4th, I think, is we're going to launch it. We're going to do the merch push, Discord, and we're also going to have a Telegram for you guys, for the community as well. And then we're also going to start the debrief calls. And you get a discount when you're a paying member of OSS with the merch. So, you know, a lot of perks in there. It's only $10, man. So, so lots of perks to join for $10.
Room with me, with the generals and all of the people that did such a good job. And then they get demeaned by these idiots at CNN who can't get ratings. The place is dying. Nobody wants to even waste their time.
It's going to be both. It's going to be Telegram and Discord. You guys are going to have two different options.
Going on their shows. So they form with the New York Times, who's dying also. Without Trump, you wouldn't have a New York Times.
And then just changing gears to your meeting with Zelensky later today, can you give us any preview of what the two of you might be discussing?
No, well, we'll discuss the obvious. We'll discuss his difficulty. He's got a little difficulty. Zelensky, he's a nice guy. I mean, I'm going to meet him today. I don't know. I assume we're going to be discussing Ukraine.
Yes.
I mean, it seems like the most likely subject.
Any restart talks there or anything that you might do?
Well, we're going to see. I mean, I've spoken to Putin a lot, and he actually was very nice. He volunteered help on, as you know, on Iran. I said, no, I don't need help on Iran. I need help on Russia. Okay? I said, do me a favor. Help us on Russia, not on Iran. But he was very nice. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk. I think progress has been...
Oh, we're turning away, guys, from 1,500, man. 19 away from 1,500 OSS strong.
Being made. I think great progress is being made on Gaza. I think because of this attack that we made, I think we're going to have some very good news. I was talking to Steve Witkoff, who, by the way, is terrific, and who knows more about this subject than anybody, the subject of what we were just talking about. He was on last night with...
Fox News, as you guys saw. We saw that interview. Guys, we got 4,200 of you guys watching right now. Do me a favor. Smash that like button. Channel's growing at a great rate. Guys, we're almost at 100,000 subscribers. Since we started this mission, December of last year. As you guys know, we started this channel. Well, we had the channel for a while, but we started doing the debrief in January of 2025. We're about to go into July, so 7 months. And we're almost at 100,000 subscribers, guys, grown for the channel. So that's a big Don DeMarco. Shout out to you know, people behind the scenes. Shout out to all my mods. Jake the Mullet, Josie, Brett, Broski. All you guys behind the scenes that helped me with running this thing. Like I said before, we're going to only make it better. Discord and Telegram coming out very soon for the OSS. You know, and yeah, man, we're going to grow this thing. The goal is to hit 10,000 strong on there. Active members, 20,000 total, 10,000 active members. Grow the channel another 100,000 for the rest of the year. And, you know, keep cooking because honestly, you know, we got a lot of... bullshit in right-wing media, man. There's not many people calling it straight. There's not many people telling y'all the truth, right? There's only a few that I can name on one hand who I've named them before. I think they all have fantastic content. You guys should all look at them. Kenneth Owens, Ian Carroll, my guy Nick Fuentes, Dan Blazarian, Jake Shields, all these guys, Sheikh Suleiman on Twitter. They're more focused on Twitter, but I know Jake is on YouTube too. These are all great guys that you guys should look at. Dave Smith is great. So go check all those guys out, man. We all kind of agree on this topic of war and Israeli foreign influence on foreign policy. But we have our own different spins on it. So go check all those guys out. Lucas Gage, all these guys, man. So so shout out to everybody.
Jesse and with Laura.
Yeah, we're gonna read the Bibi tweet here in a second, Chad. I got it.
And with Sean, and boy, Susie. He has a great take on it. He just explains it so easily. He's really.
I find it funny and ironic how the new New York mayor opposes them boys and all that. Can give him a W for that. Yet he pushes all their ideology, like LGBT defending the police and socialism in general. Yeah, bro, it's fucking comedy.
Very knowledgeable, but he did tell me that Gaza is very close.
One follow-up on Iran. Both you and Secretary Rubio and Hegseth mentioned the leaders. But can you clarify, is the intelligence correct or is the intelligence wrong?
Well, the intelligence was very inconclusive. The intelligence says we don't know. It could have been very severe. That's what the intelligence says. So I guess that's correct. But I think we can take the we don't know. It was very severe. It was obliteration. And you'd think that a media outlet would say, isn't that a great thing? I mean, more importantly for the pilots, for the military, you take their guts out. You take their absolute guts out. They had a tremendous attack. It was a complete obliteration. The other team, the other group, Iran, said, let's stop this. And you know what? Israel said it too. Very smart. They fought like hell, and then they said, let's stop. And they're going to build themselves. And
Matt Walsh and Sneeko are going at each other on Twitter. That's funny, bro.
I really see it as sticking. I mean, we may do papers on it, Marco. Maybe we're going to do papers. I don't even know if you need them. They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like two kids in a schoolyard. They fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes, then it's easy to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a certain word.
I think we have to join the others.
Yes, we're going to join some other group. Yes, thank you. Katie, one
last question. Do you believe
she's so good. That's the only reason I take.
Thank you, Mr. President.
She used to be very difficult. Go ahead.
Do you believe that this strike on the Iranian nuclear program will lead to the release of the hostages in Gaza?
I think that it helped a little bit. It showed a lot of power. Yeah, I think it helped. But we're going to get separately, even before this, we were very close to making a deal on Gaza. I think this helped, yes. Okay, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
All right, so couple things that I'll show you guys real quick. Let's read the BB stuff real fast. And then I'll show you some stuff on this mayor, because obviously Twitter's on fire with this new mayor in New York City. Let's see here. Where did I have it? Where the fuck did I put it? Okay. So commentary, Donald J. Trump from True Social. Okay, breaking news. This is him 6:27 p.m. This hot off the press about 30 minutes ago. I was shocked to hear that the state of Israel, which has just had one of its greatest moments in history and is strongly led by Bibi Netanyahu, is continuing its ridiculous witch hunt against their great wartime prime minister. Bibi and I just went through hell together, fighting a very tough and brilliant longtime enemy of Israel, Iran, and Bibi could not have been better, sharper, or stronger in his love for the incredible Holy Land. Anybody else would have suffered losses, embarrassment, and chaos. Bibi Netanyahu was a warrior like perhaps no other warrior in the history of Israel, and the result was something that nobody thought was possible, a complete elimination of potentially one of the biggest and most powerful nuclear weapons anywhere in the world. And it was going to happen soon. We were fighting literally for the survival of Israel, and there is nobody in Israel's history that fought harder or more competently than Bibi Netanyahu. Despite all this, I just learned that Bibi has been summoned to court on Monday for the continuation of his long-running. He has been going through this horror show since May of 2020, unheard of. This is the first time sitting Israeli Prime Minister has ever been on trial. Politically motivated case, man. He's so bad. Trump's grammar is atrocious, but that's fine. Okay, so I just heard that Bibi has been summoned to court on Monday for the continuation of his long-running, politically motivated case concerning cigars, a Bugs Bunny doll, and numerous other unfair charges in order to do him great harm. Such a witch hunt for a man who has given so much is unthinkable to me. He deserves much better than this, and so does the state of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu's trial should be canceled immediately, or a pardon given to a great hero who has done so much for the state. Perhaps there is no one that I know who could have worked in a better harmony with the President of the United States, me, than Bibi Netanyahu. It was the United States of America that saved Israel, and now it is going to be the United States of America that saves Bibi Netanyahu. This is a travesty of justice, cannot be allowed. Oh, man. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I kind of called this like a year or two ago. And I predicted, right? So, let me get another one of these. I'm about to cook for you niggas. Give me 1 sec, bro. Give me 1 sec, because this is actually really important. All right. Oh, well, actually, that's fine. So, here's the reality, right? With Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, here's the reality. He's been in power for a very, very long time. Since the 90s, there were there were times where he wasn't in power, but for the most part, the past 30 years or so, he's been the prime minister the predominant amount of time for Israel and the leader, right? And the thing with Benjamin Netanyahu that you guys need to understand is he is from the Likud party, okay? The Likud party in Israel, guys, is the right wing. Think of them as like the Republican party. But they are pretty extreme in a lot of their rhetoric. Netanyahu is the most moderate of them, okay? On the furthest right of the Likud party, they just want all the Palestinians gone. Let's just call it what it is. They want them gone. They want to create greater Israel. They don't give a shit about the Palestinians. They just want them out of there because they look at them as an obstacle rather than a group of people that they can, live in harmony with. This is the truth, okay? Many of them have been, caught saying this shit off camera that they don't want a two-state solution. They don't want to fucking, ever deal with them. They just want them gone. Fine. So Netanyahu is kind of like the moderate and the face of the Likud party. All right. Now that you guys understand that, Benjamin Netanyahu, right, former military guy, he's operated in some operations himself where he, killed a bunch of Palestinians, whatever. I think his brother was killed in combat. So he's the guy that will do what's required, okay? You need dirty work done. You need somewhere bombed. You need somewhere attacked. You need an assassination in place. You need things to be done that aren't politically correct. He's the guy, okay? Keep in mind, the Mossad reports directly to him, okay? No one else talks to the Mossad except for him. So a lot of these operations that you guys see with the pager attack, the attack in Iran, where they're behind enemy lines, they built a whole fucking drone program in Iran, used those drones to take out their missile defense system and their radars. This is all Bibi Netanyahu. You got to give him the credit. He is the one that has done the dirty work that other Israeli prime minister or other government officials are too scared to do, right? Now, that comes at a cost. And what I mean by that is, in securing Israel's security by fighting off their Middle Eastern enemies, he committed a lot of war crimes. He killed a lot of people, okay? And he is willing to do what he needs to do to ensure the security. Whether that means indiscriminately bombing Gaza, being behind the toppling of regimes, getting the United States to be involved in foreign wars that don't benefit us, he will do what's required for Israel. He is a nationalist to the strongest sense. He loves his country. I think that's pretty obvious here. Hardcore nationalist. He'll do whatever it takes to do that. Now, here's the problem. in his last campaign, where he fought very hardly against Hamas and the October 7th attacks, etc., right? You know, there's some talk about, hey, he let it happen or whatever because there was a lot of benefit that came after it. That's not really the point. The point here is that how he responded. As you guys know, after October 7th, there was a 2 to 3 weeks bombing campaign, and then ground forces moved in on or about October 28th. And, you know, we've witnessed something like 50,000 confirmed killings. But actually, there's something like 377,000 people missing. Actually, it just came out today. Harvard, okay, and I'll show you guys the post, because I do think that this is very important and relevant. Look at this. Report by Harvard reveals 377,000 Palestinians disappeared since 2023. And whenever I get in debates with Zionists, they always get mad at me when I say this and I bring up this fact that there's over 100,000 dead. It's actually worse. 377,000 disappeared. Remember, guys, when you get bombed, you get hit, you get your building hit, you get buried under the rubble, you get pulverized, your body blows into smithereens. So there's almost 400,000 people missing in Gaza, chat. So the 50,000 that they have dead from the Gaza Health Ministry, like, it's significantly more than that. And a majority of the people that have been killed have been kids. As you guys know, Gaza had a population of somewhere around 2 to 2.3 million prior to the attacks. And we know about 50% of the population is kids, and we know about 70% of the people that were killed are women and children. Okay? So of that 377K that were killed, a majority of them are innocent people, children. Now, Israel talks all the time. We killed 17,000 Hamas fighters. So in other words, right, Israel's okay with a fucked up ratio where they're killing a significant amount of innocent people for one Hamas fighter. We know that lavender, which is a Palantir product technology that they utilize to basically put Palestinians in one of 3 different categories, either kill, detain, or spare. We know that that thing aligns more on the kill side, and they're totally okay with ratios like 100 innocent people being killed for one Hamas fighter. Right now, to the latest records, I know somewhere between 17,000 to 20,000 Hamas fighters have been verified killed by the IDF, right? Now, why am I painting all this for you guys? I'm painting you guys this because over the past 2 years, right? We're going into 2 years now in October very soon. Israel has suffered a significant reputational destruction, okay? For a very long time, Israel kind of was able to skirt under the radar, right? Kill some Palestinians here, cut the grass over here, which is basically where they periodically bomb certain places in Gaza to remove freedom fighters, run an operation here, kill some nuclear scientists in Iran over here, kill some guy over here. Like, they were able to kind of operate in obscurity, right? And there's a multitude of reasons for this, right? One of them is because Israel, right, as you guys know, has a lot of American Zionists. And a lot of these American Zionists are involved in the media. They're involved in social media companies. And what they were able to do is they were able to effectively run cover for a lot of Israel's crimes. Prior to October 7, 2023, if you talked about or mentioned Zionism or were critical of Israel, you would be put on a hit list, okay? This hit list was maintained by the Anti-Defamation League, okay? And other organizations like Media Matters, SPLC, Right Wing Watch, etc. And these organizations would quickly shut you up, okay? So if you were critical of what Israel was doing in the Middle East, they were able to deal with it back then. You know, like when it's whack-a-mole, you got one mole and it's only one at a time, bam, you hit that motherfucker and he's gone, right? They were able to quickly identify and get rid of these individuals fast, okay? Here's the problem. As the conflict happened and more people started waking up and more people started making videos, and then TikTok, another X factor coming into the equation, right? That isn't controlled by Zionist media. The crimes in Gaza started to spread like wildfire. You add into that Twitter became free speech. Elon Musk took it over. People were able to post more freely about what was going on. And that, my friends, is what opened Pandora's box. So the conflict in Gaza opened up the world's eyes to Israel's crimes that have been going on for a very long time, that they've been able to pretty much do with impunity because no one knew. Now, people know. Mind you, before October 7th, it's very important that you guys understand this. Bibi Netanyahu was in the middle of a criminal case for bribery and some other stuff. This is what Donald Trump is talking about, and this is why he's being called in. This is why so many people believe that October 7th, they allowed it to happen. Because Bibi got so much fucking benefit. He was able to destabilize all of his enemies. Lebanon, Syria, the Houthis got bombed into hell. Hamas destroyed. Gaza pretty much taken over. And now all he has left is the Iranians. So he's benefited quite a bit from the October 7th attacks because it's allowed him to justify an unprecedented level of force of aggression. However, it's a double-edged sword. Because in his campaign of aggression, where he worked to exterminate all his enemies, he committed a lot of war crimes in the process. So, now that you guys understand who Bibi Netanyahu is, what he did, and how we got here, this is what's going to come next. And I predicted this last year. He is going to have to fall on the sword at some point. Okay? He is going to be arrested and or put out of power and or something negative will happen to him, because the only way that Israel is going to be able to repair its horrible international reputation right now is Netanyahu needs to step down, go to jail, a new prime minister needs to come in, and basically at least feign diplomacy with the Arab world. Okay? Netanyahu is cooked. Once he serves his purpose as the wartime prime minister and securing Israel's borders and securing Israel's prosperity, like he's doing now. Remember, guys, I'm being objective here. From the Israeli standpoint, he's doing what needs to be done for their security. Obviously, it's unethical, it's criminal, and fucked up. But in his eyes, it's get this done by any means necessary. Okay? So, the Israeli government is going to use him for what they need him for, which is what? Securing Israel. Once that's done, they're going to need to begin the process of repairing Israel's reputation. Okay? Israel is probably the most hated country in the world right now. The only reason that they're not dealing with any real consequences of their war crimes is because of U.S. cover. But that can't last forever as more and more Americans wake up. It's only a matter of time until at some point maybe we're going to make AIPAC register or Israeli influence in American politics won't be as strong. But people are definitely keen to it now. So they're going to need to make a 180. And there's no way that they're going to be able to begin the process of making a 180 and cleaning the Israeli image from an international perspective with Netanyahu in power. So I predict he's going to be utilized to continue to preserve their foreign policy, continue to attack their enemies, continue to destroy their enemies. Once he did what he's done, once he's done doing what he needs to do, he will be the scapegoat. He will have to fall on the sword and be the sacrificial lamb so that Israel can at least attempt to fix its reputation in the international world. That is my prediction. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, right? If you guys agree, disagree. But that's what I think is going to more than likely happen. There's no way that they're going to get their reputation back with them in power. No fucking way. Let's see here. What happened, chat? You guys agree? Yeah. All right, fair enough. If you disagree, tell me why you disagree. But I predict he's going to be the sacrificial lamb for Israel to repair its reputation. All right, so look at this. You're sipping for a foreigner who wants to castrate little kids at a Boston police in the name of queer liberation. Is it because you agree with these positions? Your boss is Ben Shapiro, bro. These niggas are funny, bro. He's an anti-American foreigner who wants to castrate children with sex with tax money, you absolute moron. This is Matt Walsh responding to Sneeko's.
Seeing people super excited. Hey, didn't see you there. Congrats, though, to Zohran Mamdani. It's not over yet, but it's looking like he won the mayoral race in New York City. We were all over every borough today, seeing people super excited to go out and vote. I supported him.
Yeah, I don't know why his audio is low.
Candidate on that stage. I thought you needed to be bought and sold, but people are energetic. People are tired of the Zionism, and I'm excited to see what he's got. I'm not a socialist myself. I don't want everyone to be a communist getting free stuff, but I think he has some cool ideas. Hopefully he can do the best, man, and wish you the best of luck. If you do win, New York is with you, and we want you to do well, man. Hey, didn't see you there.
So, yeah. Now, let me find something here because Owen Shroyer made a comment that I agreed with. He made a really good point here. And I do think that this is going to be the future. Let me find this for you guys real quick. All right. So Owen Shroyer, as you guys know from InfoWars, says, you are seeing the rise of the new generational right and the new generational left. The far right are nationalists. The far left are socialists. They agree on barely anything culturally or politically, but they both agree one thing. They're done with war. And I've said this a million times. You guys have heard me say this. One thing that both the left and the right agree with is the problem of Zionist influence in American politics. And I would argue that this mayor winning is almost a bit of a consequence of Americans slowly disliking foreign intervention in our politics, right? Obviously, it's at a lower level, right? This isn't like the president of the United States or some shit like that. This is a mayor of a major city, but it's the beginning, is the point. Let me find. And then also, he made this another tweet that Owen made. Me and him agree on a lot of shit, man. Shout out to Owen Shroyer, man. Really smart guy. He goes, make no mistake about it. Mamdani's win in NYC tonight is the first sign of Israel fatigue reaching the voting booth. Yes, they will literally vote for a foreign-born socialist as long as he doesn't kneel for Israel, as Kumo did. This will reach 2026 midterms and 2028 presidential. Bro, I agree. If we keep going down this path, of course. And I go here, agreed? Mamdani's victory stemmed from two critical factors they effectively address either openly or implicitly. The exorbitant cost of living in New York City. We all know that New York City is too goddamn expensive, right? And then widespread distrust of politicians accepting funds from Zionist lobbying groups and amid Israel's daily killing of numerous children. Mamdani's campaign capitalized on fortunate timing rather than a deliberate endorsement of socialist policies. So I think he was the perfect candidate at the perfect time for the city of New York with their class. Because as you guys know, New York City is a left-wing city, and they're overwhelmingly critical of Israel and Zionism and the occupation, right? Leftists tend to be very disliking of Zionism and Israel because it's basically a colonial expansion project is what it is. So that goes 100% against leftist ideology. So, and then also something funny as well that, I've been responding to some of these guys. Look, Benny Johnson goes, NYC in 2001, we will never forget. NYC in 2025 elects Muslim jihadist. And I said, cool. Let's talk about the 5 Israelis caught celebrating the attack on 9/11 that will put Michael Jackson to shame with their moves. Right? So that was pretty funny. And then this fucking retard. I find it absolutely shocking. It's not even an option. This man a terrorist sympathizer club to the jihadists. Bro, this nigga retarded. This fucking poop jeet right here. Oh, this guy goes, Israel did 9/11. Bro, see, people are waking up, bro. People are waking up. And then Benny Johnson made a tweet about this as well. Let me find, not Benny Johnson, Charlie Kirk, I mean. Right? Because, I just find it interesting how, Charlie Kirk and Benny always shit on Muslims, but, if you shit on, them boys, you'll instantly get banned. Isn't that kind of interesting? And here's the thing. You guys know, I've been critical of Islam, too. I've told you guys a million times. As someone that grew up in a Muslim family, I tell y'all, Islam is not compatible with a first world democracy. I have said that, okay? I am okay with telling the truth, even if it doesn't benefit me. But it's funny to me how Charlie and Betty shit on Muslims all day, but if I start talking about those other niggas, it's fucking crickets. So Charlie tweeted this. 24 years ago, a group of Muslims killed 2,753 people on 9/11. Now a Muslim socialist is on pace to run New York City, right? Which he pretty much got it. Hold on, chat. Let me go ahead and click my replies real quick for you ninjas. Oh, we're also live on X as well. If you guys wonder where I stream, I also stream on X as well. Yeah, I just don't like announcing and shit, but, if you follow me on X, feel free to check it out. So I go, fair take, Charlie Kirk. Now, I want you to talk about the undeniable involvement of Israeli intelligence having foreknowledge of the attack and how 5 of them were caught dancing as they watched the building burn from New Jersey. The buildings. I'm all for criticizing Muslims in Western society, but why does no one ever talk about how them boys isn't compatible with America either? Right? And this is the thing that everyone avoids. And then I actually, a bunch of people in the comments were saying yo, what are you talking about, Myron, blah, blah. So I actually went ahead and I attached declassified FBI reports, and then this guy, this fucking poop Jeet right here. None of that happened. What did happen is the vast majority of Palestinians dancing, celebrating, cheering this 2,000 were murdered that day. But will you ever mention this fact? Will you? I go, LMFAO, I know you're all the way in India, so here you go. Instant ratio on this fucking bitch-ass nigga, bro. Yeah, this dude right here, bro, he's an Israeli propagandist. We're pretty certain he's a fucking poop G out in India somewhere. But yeah, here we go. If you guys want, I can drop this for y'all. These are the FBI 302s, all the declassified documents from our, favorite dancing Israelis. So here you guys go. Here's the links if you guys want to read it yourself. Declassified shit. Feel free to take them out, check them out. I covered this in detail with Ryan Dawson. So, we've covered this in crazy detail. So if you guys, want to watch those episodes, go on Rumble, type in Fresh and Fit 9/11, and you're going to see that we had like a 7-part series. Fresh and Fit 9/11 on Rumble, and you guys will be able to see all of it. We covered it in fucking excruciating fucking detail. So yeah. So that's what it was. So we'll see what happens, man. Like I said before, I am, not scared to criticize Islam and its compatibility in a first world, country where freedom of speech is a thing. I am okay with that. I can do that, right? I have the uncanny ability, right, which a lot of people don't have, which I'm realizing I'm like one of the only real niggas that could do this. I can criticize my religion, my group of people or whatever, and be pretty objective about it, even though it might not necessarily benefit me, because I would argue that is like Super Saiyan levels of critical thinking. If you could criticize where you come from or the people that you are a part of, right? Like your race, your religion, your background, whatever. If you can criticize that group of people, right, and be objective, bro, 99% of people can't do that. Just so you guys know, 99% of human beings cannot say objective truths that are unflattering about maybe their group of people or whatever, right? They can't do it. I can do it. I have done it. A lot of people got mad at me about it. Myron, what the fuck? These people hate you. Oh, why do you say this? It's true. By definition, you can't criticize the prophet in Islam. That is antithetical to the First Amendment. Not compatible, bro. What, you want me to lie? It is what it is. Right? But they'll sit there, they'll shit on Muslims all day, which is fine. It's your right to do so. But I find it interesting how they're fucking terrified of talking about, hey man, if you're going to sit there and say that Islam is not compatible with America, fine. Neither are they. Okay? Neither are they. All right, let's see here. So I'll give you guys a choice. It's 7:24 right now. We can either do, we could react to Crowder, or you guys want me to jump in this Twitter space with, looks like Suleiman and them are talking about, what's this, Iran and Israel? Oh, yeah, Zohran Mamdani win. Yeah, a lot of people are losing their minds over this guy because he's like a socialist and a Muslim. They're going crazy, bro, on the right. I mean, look, bro, I'm not even looking at his religion and shit. I'm looking at it like, damn, bro is a socialist? That's not good. That's not good. He's trying to make, and for those of you that are wondering, let me find him here. Mamdani. This is him right here. Right? This is him. He basically wants to like make shit free for everybody and bring down the cost of living in New York City and get the city to pay for a lot of shit. 7 hours ago. Oh, look at this. This is, she did committed real estate for mortgage fraud, this chick. That's funny, man. This makes a great deal to me. E. Warren, thank you for your leadership. You fight for working families, your support. Elizabeth Warren. Yep. So, what a different time, huh?
The dawn of a new era in New York City.
Yo, New York City's cooked, bro. I've been told y'all that New York City trash, though. I've been warned you guys.
You're turning the page on the corrupt politics of the past that made this the most expensive city in the United States of America. Today, I am filled with gratitude for the more than 50,000 volunteers that have powered this campaign for the last 8 months, for the tens of thousands more who have already cast their ballots. And I'm filled with conviction that we will win this race.
Wait, R.I.P. Liver King? What?
We've shown that by focusing on the issues of working and middle-class New Yorkers across this city, that by listening instead of lecturing, that by creating a politics of no translation, New Yorkers will join you in your fight for a new city. What we offer is a way to sustain this city that I so deeply love. What we offer is a vision to keep New Yorkers in the place that they call home, and an antidote to the Trump administration and the hatred and the division that it spews. We are showing people that hope is not something that is naive. It is in fact righteous when it is built upon a plan and a vision. We are showing New York City that a better day is possible. And today is the first of many of them. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so Liver King has been going crazy. Well, let's go ahead. I'll cover Liver King real quick. This came across my feed. Bro has been going nuts. He's been like threatening Joe Rogan and I think Derek for more plates, more dates. He got arrested in Austin, Texas yesterday.
You, Joe Rogan.
And I think the reason why Liver King hates him so much is I think pretty much Liver King, man, like his career's kind of taken a shitter. I remember a couple of years ago, he got caught for lying about being on steroids.
All caps to get it right. This is important. What's happening is really important. Okay, let's go.
So he's posting a bunch of weird videos.
Oh, we do. Okay, we're going to put handcuffs on.
So he went to Texas. And then he was like at a hotel, and footage of posted on Instagram. Brian Johnson is seen in handcuffs placed in the back of a patrol car as his wife, Bozena Barbara Johnson, looks on.
Welcome to Texas, Joe Rogan. Welcome.
Minutes before his arrest, Johnson is seen frantically pacing around the living room with meditation music playing, talking about going to prison and fighting Joe Rogan.
Fighting tension, real. You got it. The alarm goes off. Well, it's just in the cargo.
And his cameraman convinces him not to take a knife with him. Bro's off his rocker.
Okay. I don't need that. I leave that here. Leave that here.
The 47-year-old faces a misdemeanor charge of making a terroristic threat and was booked into the Travis County Jail in Austin. As you guys know, Joe Rogan films the Joe Rogan Experience podcast in Texas, in the Austin area. Yeah, I'm sure Rogan or some other people call the cops.
Joe Rogan, I'm calling you out. My name's Liver King. Man to man. I'm picking a fight with you. Yeah.
The following day was back at a challenger podcast to fight a man to man, bro. Bro, this is drug use for you, chat. Rogan has never hosted the Liver King on his podcast, but has discussed Johnson's steroid use on air. Johnson, known across the social media as the Liver King, gained his following by promoting his barbarian-like diet. Remember that, guys? Like 3 years ago, you couldn't avoid this guy. His diet consisted of animal liver, testicles, and fertilized chicken eggs. And he claimed his physique as a result of his outrageous workout routines, which we found out later was cap. However, it was later revealed he misled the public after leaked emails showed he was spending $11,000 a month on steroids to achieve his physique. Goddamn, bro.
The last 15 of those years.
Johnson was featured in a Netflix documentary, Untold, the Liver King, about how he created a social media and supplement empire.
I've been living an ancestral lifestyle. We have videos with hundreds of millions of views. Primals. I felt like a new level.
Yeah, bro, the fall off is great, chat. Fall off is fucking crazy, bro. This is what happens when you do drugs, man. What happens when you do drugs, bro? Absolutely nuts.
Let's go ahead and head out to Austin, Texas as we teach.
Yeah, absolutely a
It's 30 minutes ago.
bizarre story. What we can tell you, like you mentioned, that 47-year-old influencer Brian Johnson, or better known by his followers as the Liver King, he's known for his extreme diet and his so-called primal lifestyle. APD says that it became aware Johnson had made threats against Joe Rogan on Tuesday morning. The Instagram post also revealed Johnson was traveling to Austin.
I didn't see his Netflix thing, guys. Was it good? Was the Netflix good or was it shit trash?
While continuing to make threatening statements, according to APD. Rogan told police he had never had an interaction with Johnson and considered the posts to be threatening.
Joe Rogan, we don't have to make videos to pretend anymore. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man to a fight. Honorable.
Yeah, bro is off his fucking rocker, chat. Yeah, holy.
Yeah, APD says it obtained an arrest warrant for Johnson on a terroristic threat charge. Johnson was found at the Four Seasons Hotel in downtown and taken into custody. He recorded the arrest on social media to his followers as well. APD says that this does remain an ongoing active investigation. Back to you.
All right, and as we've been here with Jenna King there with Fox 7 in Austin talking about the Liver King, have you heard from anyone there, just people walking around? Have you heard from anybody in the community talking about this? As, of course, we know that Joe Rogan is a major person to be there in the Austin area. I'm sure this has to be coming across people's headlines as well.
Yeah, you know, I mean, all day long, even just people.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where he films, guys. I don't think the studio is actually in Austin, Texas. I think it's in New Braunfels or San Marcos, which are like right outside of Austin. But you know, obviously we know InfoWars in Austin. I was out there. Shout out to them. I know also, you know, obviously Rogan's in that area too. But yeah, the fact that bro traveled all the way to Austin, Texas to find Rogan is crazy, bro.
People in our news
and he was putting it all over social media like a retard.
You know, everyone knows the name Joe Rogan, obviously here in Austin, you know, with Comedy Mothership and all of that. But what I found interesting was just how the millions and millions of followers, you know, that Liver King does have. And so very interesting and super, you know, bizarre case, especially with these two really big names.
All right, again, with Fox 7 there in Austin, Texas, Jenna King, we appreciate you for joining us here on Live Now.
All right. Yeah, he's probably going to be the mayor. Yeah, people are losing their minds. Also, guys, quick message from our sponsor. We got this exclusive community for you guys where we could talk about the stuff that we want to talk about. The O/Squad, aka the OSS, is finally here. But without further ado, guys, you're going to get a bunch of perks from joining. Number one, you're going to be able to call into the show when I have call-in sections on the debrief. I'm going to be talking to the OSS members only on there. Also, you guys are going to get discounts on merch and exclusive drops that only OSS members have access to. On top of that, we're going to do one annual meetup completely free on 420 once a year right here in Miami. And then on top of that, whenever I travel, I'm going to let you guys know with the Telegram chat so you can go ahead and do a meetup there because you're an OSS member. My goal here, guys, is to have you guys be able to support the mission without breaking the bank. We're going to keep membership dues low. You're obviously going to get discounts with annual codes and all types of opportunities to get a better price point. This is basically going to be done so we can continue doing what we're doing, expand the debrief, expand the O/Squad, and be able to have the independence, quite frankly, that is very tough to come by nowadays in a pro-censorship regime. Bam. And yeah, man, you guys can go ahead and jump in there, bro. It's $10 a month it's going to be, but you can jump in now for the first month for $4. And then just support the mission, man. As you guys know, you know, I still stream on YouTube for you guys. So if 50% of the viewership is supporting, man, we cooking, baby. We cooking. And we can keep doing what we're doing. I can say what I want to say. We don't got to fucking censor ourselves for fucking dumbass YouTube.
Welcome. Punch!
And we have 100% autonomy over our stuff, right? We're not beholden to AdSense like a lot of these other influencers who are. And just can't keep it real with y'all about certain things. So that freedom is priceless, and you guys allow me to do that. So thank you guys so much for that join. We're 15 away from hitting our goal of 1,500. I'm probably going to run an OSS subathon tomorrow for you guys. I'll be honest. I think I'll probably run one tomorrow for you guys. I'll do a longer stream. I'll go, 8 to 12 hours, somewhere in that range. We'll cover a multitude of different things going on. So it'll be a good time. I'll probably do an OSS thing for you guys tomorrow. OSS subathon tomorrow is what I'm thinking. Hit that 2,000, baby. Goals to hit that 2,000. All right. Hopefully we can hit 1,500 tonight, and then we're gonna keep on pushing and go to keep pushing to 2,000 and work our way up to the 10,000 mark, and then really build this fucking army up, man. And get it going, get it cooking. Okay, let me read some of these chats. We got here Kessler with the funny thing. Emorpheus says, Myron, $10 from OSS says, Myron, I previously asked about this, but I didn't get a chance to see a response. How can we read to you or Ryan Dawson's level of research aside from critical thinking? What else do you think are prerequisites for all current and future obfuscation attempts by people and especially by the government? Is your perception of current geopolitics based on your previous training from law enforcement? Thanks in advance. It's a multitude of things, bro. It's a multitude of things. Obviously the facts combined with, who's concealing the information, why they would want to conceal it. Aren't Arab Semitic people too? Absolutely they are. We're the real Semites, actually. Fun 9/11 infographics for you. Okay. Mar, what do you think Israel is going to build a third church and pronounce their anti? Yes, they are. They're doing it right now. They're trying to destroy the Alaska Mosque. I've covered this in detail. They went ahead and got the red heifers, bro. We're cooked, man. That's already in the process, my friend. That is already in the process. We got here. What else? Martin, after Bibi's political ratings went up and Trump's political ratings went down. Okay, I'm sure. Bibi's Alki wife is a new PM. No. W Show checking in. Thank you, Nightly Wisdom. WWE3 Stopper says Google Maps has updated satellite imagery in some parts of northern Gaza. The whole world can see how the cities have been carpet bombed. Absolutely, bro. Sensei says, I may have missed you saying this, but I just found out Benjamin Netanyahu's real name is Milikowski. Yeah, bro. Welcome to, I've been told you, bro. Yeah, he's Polish. He's Polish, man. Welcome to the truth. Last week, didn't a speaker of Iran say they never have, but now will really never trust the U.S., the West again? LO, I think them Iranians, yeah, bro, they're going to definitely work towards the bomb. Tio says, last week I didn't know. King of Lords says, my boy got them college gym shorts on at work. Boss goals, go ahead and cook, bro, okay? Lord S, subscribe. Shout out to you. Welcome to the OSS. Come visit L.A. Appreciate your show. No, thank you, Sods. I hate L.A. Black Vest says, Myron, OSS, we need a more specific emoji. You know what I mean. We'll work on it. Hey, Myron, Trump's tweet on Bibi is wild. Are we doing Bibi files? We'll do it probably tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. Myron, why do you think Trump was in lockstep with Israel on this Iran attack versus reacting to what Israel wanted to do with the U.S. giving permission to attack? Remember to read that truth message. I read it. He's in lockstep because Myron Mendelssohn gave him $100 million, bro. Very simple. Danny Boy, Myron, what do you think about Bibi? Oh, no, I read that one. Myron, Netanyahu is back in court Monday. You think they'll pull another false flag to avoid it? No, they're just going to delay it. So Myron Mendelssohn gave, this is from Speedy, says, Myron Mendelssohn gave $100 million to Trump for his campaign to protect Israel and in the process ruining the preparation of him in the United States. This is more proof that women fuck up societies. Yes, bro, I've been telling you guys that Myron Mendelssohn is a single issue voter. She doesn't give a fuck about anything except for Israel. My buddies at Travis County said that he already bailed out. Yeah, of course he bailed out. Bro, terroristic threats is a misdemeanor in Texas law. I know that for a fact. Of course he bailed out. Kano187, $25. Thank you, bro. He says, not sure if I missed the Zoom meeting with Dave. I have a property worth $650K, paid off, and wondering if I should take out a HELOC to help my father pay off the debt. He's in the food industry, and no, that's one of the first to get hit. I don't know, bro. Taking out a HELOC to pay a debt, I don't know. Godly Fatal, I need more facts. Your mind, thank you for all the work you do. It's truly amazing. Also, do you think you can do a reaction to Drew Binsky's visit in Iran he released a week ago? It would be great. I don't know who Drew Binsky is. I have zero idea who that is. Yeah, but Kano, we'll do a Zoom call with Dave soon. So stay tuned. We will do a Zoom call with Dave soon. All right, okay, what time is it? It's 7:40. We got about 20, 30-ish minutes. All right, what do you guys want? You guys want crowd or do you guys want the Twitter space? Also, guys, we got 2,100 likes. We got 4,200 of you guys watching. Guys, smash that fucking like button, man. Smash that like button. Let's get to 3,000 likes, guys. Let's get to 3,000 likes. I don't want to stop the show. You guys are going to force me to stop the show if you guys don't smash that goddamn like button. Hit that like button, guys. On YouTube. Godly Fatal says, yo, Myron, thank you for all the work that you do. It's truly amazing. Also, do you think you can do a reaction to Drew? Oh, no, sorry. I read that one earlier. All right. I'll jump into Twitter space for a little bit. And then we'll go to Crowder. I got both here ready to go. Do me a favor, guys, while we listen to this Twitter space a little bit. Give me the timestamp for the Crowder thing. Because obviously this thing is how long? 2 hours. So give me the timestamp, guys, if you guys don't mind, where I should start it. I know some of you guys probably watched it. So I'll watch it, but just give me the timestamp, ninjas.
It to some degree so that the delivery drivers have better working conditions and, you know, universal child care. Yes, he does have what Gary was talking about. He wants to give millions in funding for gender affirming care, investing LGBTQIA. I don't even know what the IA is at the end, but anyway, LGBTQIA plus affairs. And he wants to create some sort of a sanctuary for trans individual mental health outreach. Separate to that, by the way, he wants to kind of build a mental health outreach teams.
They're talking about the mayor
to form a community safety. And what you said, Brother Omar, 5 city-run grocery stores, 1 per borough, inspired by models like Kansas grocery co-ops. I don't think the grocery stores is going to be a bad thing if it makes food more affordable and available for literally the very working class who may be struggling.
All right. Someone asked, you think Mayor Adams is going to have a fighting chance? I don't know, bro. He did take a hit with the whole he took a hit for sure with the FBI case against him for taking money from Turkey. That definitely hurt him. So, hey, shout out to, guys, shout out to Ryan. He's saying, yeah, man, jump into OSS, guys. If you guys want, you could go ahead and just join in and watch the stream on OSS and enjoy the show from there. You don't got to be a paying member to be in the chat, but I'm going to lock it starting next month. I'm going to make it where you have to be an OSS member to be in the chat, because that way, when you're in the chat on OSS and you send a super chat, it gets read automatically. So, but right now I'm keeping it open so you guys can kind of get a taste of it. We got 120 guys in there. So go ahead and watch it on OSS, man. It's better. The chat is better. They put memes in there. It's hilarious. There's no censorship whatsoever. You can say whatever the fuck you want. It's lit in there. So it's the Wild West. Okay, let me go ahead and go into this. I'll leave this space. All right, let's go into this Crowder thing.
Oh. Doing their job correctly. This is an entertainment show, but I'm even talking about those in news. We applied the same standard during COVID. It's not, wait a second. What did you do at that time? It's what did you do with all of the other information that was available to you at that time, Fauci? Did you discount any of the data as it related to lockdowns, as it related to vaccines, as it related to the Wuhan market versus a lab? Were there people?
Gavin said, when you showed your Coinbase account with $500,000 on Fresh Fit After Hours a few nights ago, that's your crypto just sitting on Coinbase? Is it connected with a cold wallet? No comment, Gavin. Anti-Semcat, Bibi killed more Palestinians than Hitler Jews during the Holocaust during the Red Cross. Crazy stat. Yeah, facts. I know he did. Seeing you and Nick explode these days is such a W. Dark censorship times might be coming soon, especially if there's a false flag, but we can't be silenced anymore. Charlie is a sellout. Crowder is a cuck. Matt is a shot voice. Goy. Okay.
Were there doctors saying, hey, you may be wrong, and did you eliminate their voice or try and discredit them? That has been happening on the right, with people saying, don't trust anyone who says, hey, there might be something to Iran being dangerous with a nuclear weapon. They're shills. Donald Trump's controlled by the Jews. Impeach him. You guys understand this has real world consequences. And I want to give the people who've been doing this an out. Just say you made a mistake. Let's do that. Reset. Do right by your audience. Do right by your country. That's why we're broadcasting wide, by the way, by request from Chris Pavlovsky of Rumble today on YouTube, because a lot of the people who've been feeding you this still make most of their money on YouTube, being the free speech advocates that they are. So, timeline. Last night on Truth, and a lot has happened since then. There's so much that's happened since then. The story developed on my car ride from my home to the office this morning. And I was listening to a news briefing in the car. That's how much this story has developed and how rapidly it has developed. So last night, President Trump announced a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Congratulations to everyone. You've probably read this already. That happened. Not everyone initially, especially in Iran, was happy with the talks of peace.
Now this is good news. All you need is love. All you need is love.
Look,
can't make everybody.
We can't be on the same page with not with everything. No. So the ceasefire, the agreement, was tested this morning when the IDF said that they would be responding to Iran's violation of the ceasefire. They posted, in light of the severe violation of the ceasefire carried out by the Iranian regime, we will respond with force. Donald Trump then dropped a warning on Israel. Truth Social, he said, Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do it, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now, Israel. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. And he was very irritated. Again, a man who clearly hates needless death. And in a response, heated, I believe, depending where you are, night, morning, early this morning, he dropped the F-bomb, and rightfully so, in a line that I hope goes down in history with tear down this wall and 7 years ago, and the only thing to fear is fear itself. He addressed this situation.
Man, this reminds me why I don't watch traditional conservative media, man. Holy shit, bro. This is like top tier Trump glaze, man. All right, I'm gonna put it at 1.25 speed. I want to hear him out. So
with reporters, and specifically was angry with Israel if they were going to do this.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement, the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
I've never been prouder.
What was he holding, though?
Zat.
Oh, Zat.
Yeah. Was he holding a yarmulke? Get it out of here!
I thought it was like a grocery bag. Like,
too small. Sound like a guy who's controlled by Israel, by the Jews. Wherever you line up. Isn't this a good thing? Isn't this a good thing for the country? Didn't we all get what we wanted here? No war. Knowing that our president is putting America's interests first. MAGA. Why would anyone want to impeach this man if they're MAGA? Can you guys answer that for me? And we make all of the references available, and I always will. It's just another safeguard. It doesn't guarantee that we're right about anything. But when there's so much happening, when the acceleration is so rapid, someone can take one moment in the timeline and craft a narrative around it and misinform you. So I want to go through all of this, as this has happened in the last 12 hours. So
I'm just watching, guys. I don't want to make it. I'm gonna like let him, make his argument. Then I'll kind of respond. So, yeah.
For about 5 minutes after that historic moment that I love, and I love that it includes the F-bomb. I think it's perfectly appropriate. About 5 minutes, all of the haters of Donald Trump were having a field day with false gotchas on the left.
Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it will be a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. He then posted this tweet claiming that Israel was not
Yeah, these are the Krasensteins, and for those of you that are wondering, and yes, they are
going to attack Iran, as you see here. And literally, as he was posting it, Israel bombed an Iranian radar site.
Yep, that is true.
In my opinion, Donald Trump is a child playing a president. Brian Krasenstein, citizen of the United States.
Now, in this case, maybe he made a mistake, or maybe he's deliberately lying to you to misinform you because he posted that additional Truth Social post saying, hey, look, they attacked the site. This must mean he's lying. Well, 8 minutes before that, Cassie Akiva, who did some great work, by the way, Daily Wire, reported from Netanyahu's office 8 minutes before that video in response
Daily Wire.
response to Iran's violations, the Air Force destroyed a radar installation near Tehran. Pursuant to the conversation between President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, Israel has refrained from additional attacks. She laid out a great timeline, too. I'll post a link to this, today's events, and I'll just sort of recap it again if you're still a little bit murky, because a lot has happened. And by the way, you could be a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist and find this confusing, just to be clear. So timeline, kind of, let's go 1 through, I believe, 7 she does. 1, Trump announced a ceasefire yesterday, giving 6 hours to both sides to wrap up their operations. 2, Israel starts to bomb Iran heavily. 3, Iran shoots 5 missile barrages at Israel, 1 of which kills 4 people. 4, Trump's deadline goes into effect and Iran shoots another barrage. 5, Trump announces his deadline is in effect on truth and asks for no more firing. 6, Iran fires 1 missile 3 hours later, which does not land per Trump. 7, Israel vows to respond. 8, Trump publicly demands that Israel not respond and that its planes turn around. 9, Israel strikes a minor site and turns its planes.
Kay Noella says, I put in the month code for the CC that ends on July 4th. Can I cancel now and get the yearly deal before it goes higher? I'm a Jew when it comes to my deals. My G, help me out, Niga. Whatever you want to do, Kane. If you want to do the year, you can do that. If you want to do the, $4 up front and then 10 a month, whatever you prefer, bro. It really is up to you. You can, I think you can, I think you can cancel and get the deal. I'm not sure, though. Yo, keep watching. Crowder basically compares Candace, Ian, Dave, and I would say you as well to Fauci. Wait, what? Dave Myron for giving us all this information, and W for the OSS Army. We are almost at 1,500. Yes, we are, guys. We're like less than 15 away, man. So smash that fucking like button on YouTube and join the OSS.
Round, and they've made it clear that at least at this moment in time, they plan to honor it. Here's what's happened. President Trump here is not controlled by anyone else. He is the parental figure in the room, and he has counted to 3, and everyone knows he mean what he say.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare do that. Did you hear me? Hey, stop, hold it right there. You put that ice cream in your mouth, and you are in very, very, very big trouble. Don't you dare go anywhere beyond that. Put it down right now. I am not going to say it again. I am not going to say it again. I
am not. Don't care if you're Jewish or Muslim. So, for those saying, I don't know, well, apparently the ceasefire is, I should say, Iran is so confident in it that they actually have a victory parade planned. Which, all right, fine. This was our plan. We have you right where we want you.
All right.
We didn't like nuclear bombs anyway.
I'm bleeding.
Yes.
Give me the victory. The person with the highest casualty wins.
That's right. I took your missile out with my ass.
Face 2 foot style.
Try my nuts to your face. So it's good that Iran agreed to a ceasefire, because if not, President Trump was likely going to send in an attack so fierce Iran would never recover.
You one ugly motherfucker.
So gross.
Hey, it's worse here than there. She said it.
Yes, yes. And I love, look, people talk about words. No, the actions are what define you. If right now you go, look, I'm done. Look, you heaves, you tell it.
And just so you guys know, this is like boomer humor, FYI, right? Like this is a 100% like boomer humor, like people born in the 70s and 80s and shit like that, 60s.
Stop it! It's enough. You're going to make it about words. You're going to make it about the fact that he used the F word. This is also something you see on the right, the pearl clutching. So this ceasefire brokered, okay, by President Trump. He's the adult in the room. He is America first. Now I want to get to what has been a real problem and something that needs to be corrected, or not just Republicans. Conservatives will not only lose in the midterms, all of the momentum, which is a hard word to say.
Yeah, they're 100% going to lose. We're midterms is cooked. That's a fact. Midterms is absolutely cooked.
Which has been built will be lost. You have a generation of people, Gen Z, young males, who are more conservative than any generation at this point in their lives, than anyone ever. Don't squander that lead. And people who are being bad actors, and they're trying to say you'll squander that lead if you do Israel's bidding. And what is doing the bidding of Israel? That means presenting the facts. That means if we go, hey, I don't think that a nuclear Iran is a good thing, but I also think we need to be able to inspect Israel's weapons facilities, and I also don't want to send a single American soldier to die for any war that is not in our interest. You have been told that that perspective is not mainstream. That perspective is bought and paid for. In some cases, not all, by people who are bought and paid for. The left is never held accountable. You've heard me talk about this. It's what gets me up in the morning. It drives me nuts. The left makes a bunch of predictions on climate change. They don't come true. And they're never held to account. The left says that it's going to be World War III when Donald Trump becomes president, and it never comes true. They're never held to account. They say it's going to be Handmaid's Tale. Hands off my vagina. It's going to be some post-apocalyptic Orwellian future, and it never comes true. And they're never held to account because it is a worldview with no fundamental moral backbone. And so it's just this bad, this bad, this bad, and progress for the sake of progress. And they're never held accountable. We have that emerging on the right. And the fake news that's coming from the right is not because it's controlled by legacy media and it's controlled by a perspective that won't allow voices of dissent. We have it emerging on the right because these people don't even know that they're controlled entirely by an algorithm. The algorithm rewards controversy. The algorithm rewards the lie if it's more clickable than the truth. And we can't run our country that way. We can't be doing this to our audiences. I'm very grateful because everyone serves a master. We serve you. If we here, just to be clear, if we had to be beholden to YouTube's algorithm because we make most of our, we'd have to do it too. We couldn't say, hey, it's probably not World War III, and here's why, and here are the likely scenarios. We'd have to say, it's World War III, and Donald Trump is a stooge for the Jews. Why? Because none of us would eat otherwise. Because that's what the algorithm rewards. Put that aside. People make mistakes.
That's not true at all, bro. Wow. Grossly unaware that being critical of them boys, bro, absolutely will put you in a box that will fuck up your ability to grow. Like, you get shadow banned for talking about this shit. So I don't know what where this is coming from, where he's saying with the algorithm, like, no, you get penalized for talking about this shit, especially in conservative media. Especially in conservative media. Look, me demonetized. Nick banned. Candace Owens banned from Australia and New Zealand. I think New Zealand just gave her the ability to come back, but she's blacklisted now. A lot of people don't want to have her on their show. The only person I'm able to see move around in circles still is Dave Smith. And you want to know why? So, honestly speaking, you still deal with consequences for talking about this stuff. You know what I mean? You still do. Now, the censorship has receded a little bit, right? You are able to talk about it a bit more. But to say that it's like rewarded by the algorithm or something like that, bro, you get destroyed by the algo for talking about this shit. And you get demonetized. So, I don't know why the fuck Rumble. Hold on, chat. Let me refresh this shit. Oh, there we go. That's what it is. Oh, let me turn the volume back on. Sorry, chat.
No, that was a judgment call where I said, I don't know if it's a good idea. It may be, but I'm kind of split on it. Knowing what I don't know, I would say absolutely. You can end a war, you can end human suffering and loss of life without killing anybody and eliminating a nuclear threat? Of course. People make mistakes. People make inferences. People are asked for their opinion. People get single stories wrong. That happens, where you find out a story isn't exactly how it was presented. We've had that happen. People do not, I repeat this, add up together, compile multiple different elements, cherry pick or create facts out of thin air, weave them together with narratives that don't make sense together to create one underlying conspiracy and present it to you as fact by mistake. That cannot be attributed to ignorance, and it's happening a lot, and it has real-world consequences.
I want to see what this conspiracy theory is that he's going to talk about.
Just want to be clear. Remember what it is that you were told. Hold our side to account the same way we want. We can't hold the left to account because they're not going to do it on CNN. We can do it here in our territory. We have to when it comes from our own side.
Apparently, I'm back in time for World War III.
We are starting the fight. These crazies are dragging us in to what's really already World War III.
Then the deep state just had to go and start World War III.
We're going to be hated and despised for what we're doing. We already are, but it's only going to get worse.
because the war is going to get worse.
We are at war with Iran as of right now.
The third war is not about to start. It has started.
War with Iran will be...
Oh, shit. He's really going at some people here. Okay, let me...
Count the same way we want. We can't hold the left to account because they're not going to do it on CNN. We can do it here in our territory. We have to when it comes from our own side.
Apparently, I'm back in time for World War III.
We are starting the fight. These crazies are dragging us in to what's really already World War III.
Then the deep state just had to go and start World War III.
We're going to be hated and despised for what we're doing. We already are, but it's only going to get worse because the war is going to get worse.
We are at war with Iran as of right now.
The third war is not about to start. It has started.
War with Iran will be World War III. Iran is not alone, and it will not remain alone.
And by the way, that doesn't come close to, the next one is a CCI montage. Doesn't come close to some of the wild takes that some other folks made.
Come, let Zoltar tell you more.
I translate the next pitch ball right past.
All right, pause. We'll redo this. Sorry, I had the wrong thing in front of me. There were some wild takes that were made. Just to be clear, we have a montage I'm going to put here at the end of the show. We're definitely having to hustle here today because a lot is happening. This is like that nickel circling the drain. In this instance, we knew that people would make some pretty crazy takes.
Well, and to be honest, you called it. Like, we did.
Come, let Zoltar tell you more.
I translate the next pitch ball right past the flag.
We're going to win the game, I guarantee.
The claim is that this is going to be World War III. The truth? Probably not. What I'm saying is right now, we have no reason to think that's the case.
I just don't think that we are serving our audiences well by constantly telling them, breaking, this is World War III.
Right. So the air superiority is so lopsided right now in Israel's favor that if no one else gets involved, okay, pack it in. It's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Is it disingenuous of Donald Trump, or is it disingenuous of someone to say, you know, I was on the MAGA train, but he's turned on us because now he says Iran's a threat? Well, hold on a second. That sounds to me like it's your fault that you didn't know where he stood, and it's your fault for misinforming your audience if you ever even so much as implied that Donald Trump held any position other than Iran can't get a nuke. I think that's your fault. That's important because that's the point where Donald Trump goes, they probably should negotiate, when it seems pretty clear that they've gone from 200 missiles launched to 35 in the span of a day. You know, someone is more likely to negotiate if they're in a weakened state.
And short of World War III, I don't even think this is going to end up in a full armed conflict between these two nations.
This is one of those things. The friendly fire occurring within the conservative community is bizarre right now. This is not one of the issues that would have resulted in that. This is not a declaration of war against the world. This is not sending American troops to die for Israel. None of that has happened. And it is amazing the efficiency with which this was carried out. Anyone who said false flag to get us into war, that's someone who I would question going forward if the United States doesn't get involved and it's not a global conflict. Because it does require that. In other words, for that statement to be made, this is a false flag. For someone to say that Israel set up a false flag, that would require people to be in cahoots, which would mean that it is a 100% inevitability that the United States, boom, got their excuse and is getting into a global conflict. If it doesn't happen, start questioning the people who say false flag.
All right. Okay. Go to your bed, buddy. Go to your bed. All right. So, all right. Now I see his position. Basically, his position is the people that are saying that it's World War III are wrong. It's not going to be a world war, and it's not that big of a deal. And there's a ceasefire now, and people were overreacting and selling a certain thing. So, two things are going on here that I think is very important. And this is why I'm so, this is why you guys got to be careful about who you watch when it comes to foreign policy, right? There's different types of conservative podcasters, right? There's conservative podcasters that are really good on cultural issues, right? You look at someone like maybe a Matt Walsh, right? Who, you know, is able to debunk the whole, you know, LGBT movement, right? You got people like Steven Crowder, who Steven Crowder did a fantastic job of showing how the election was rigged, right? He actually got a couple of strikes for that, right? You have people like Jordan Peterson and Michael Knowles who do a very good job of debating feminism and gender indifferences and sexual interdynamics from a scientific perspective, right? But when it comes to foreign policy, guys, I'll be very honest with you guys. Most of the big American political commentators are not tuned in on this, okay? They're more focused on domestic issues, cultural issues, racial issues, etc., which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But Steven Crowder trying to dismiss this as not being a World War III or that we're not already in a very dangerous conflict speaks to his ineptitude when it comes to foreign policy, right? And the fact that he's dismissing and saying, yo, just saying it's the Jews all the time when it comes to foreign policy, that's not, it goes to show me that there's just a gross unawareness of how America conducts its foreign policy. Now, let me make this very clear. The days of conventional warfare, of us being in trenches and shooting at each other, right? Like in World War I or World War II, even up until Vietnam to a degree, those days are cooked. Those days are done, okay? Warfare now, especially after World War II, has changed. It went from conventional warfare of being in trenches and shooting at each other and just like taking land that way to more sophisticated warfare where you're utilizing intelligence agencies to do coups, you're using intelligence agencies to subvert, you're using intelligence agencies to do assassinations, you're using precise airstrikes. Warfare has changed, guys, okay? It's changed. So when Crowder tells you guys that it's not a World War III, blah, 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 what he doesn't understand is that warfare has changed. If we're going to go ahead and talk about conventional warfare that he's probably thinking about when he's saying that World War III isn't here, sure, he could be right in that regard if he's using the old definition of warfare. But what he doesn't understand, as many domestic political commentators don't understand, the Charlie Kirks, the Michael Knowleses, the Matt Walshes, etc., what they don't understand is that warfare has changed. And the reason why these guys don't comment on foreign affairs a lot of the times is because, especially now, it'll show their weakness and show their protection of Israel. Because if you're going to go ahead and talk about American foreign policy, if you're being honest with your audience and you're keeping it real, you're going to have to at some point admit that our foreign policy is absolutely dictated by Israel, okay? It is what it is, right? Some guys like Jeffrey Sachs, who you saw before, is honest about this and talks about it all the time. Colonel McGregor has talked about it, Scott Ritter's talked about it, etc. But that's kind of what I've realized is that a lot of the best, or the most popular conservative commentators typically don't understand foreign policy. And the reason why they don't understand foreign policy, or they do, but they, tell you guys the lie that Israel doesn't run our shit, or even worse, like a Ben Shapiro who's a propagandist for Israel. The reason why is because it reveals their weak point, the Achilles heel, which is they're Zionists and they're pro-Israel, like most of conservative media, which nowadays is not a good thing to be. Now, why do I say this? By Crowder saying that it's not World War III, that shows the gross misunderstanding of Middle Eastern foreign affairs. Because what he doesn't get is that World War III is here. It's just being waged in a different way. Okay? The trench warfare is done. Now it's done through internet hacks, assassinations, precise strikes, etc. It's been going on since October 7th, guys. I did a whole explanation explaining to you guys how we got to this point in the escalation ladder of how we even got here. I'll run through it real quick for you guys. It started with the killing of Soleimani in 2020. Trump killed him in Iraq with a drone attack, precise drone attack, that killed him. That was a big deal because Qasem Soleimani was the commander of the Axis of Resistance, and he was the one that was coordinating a lot of these, attacks or, escalations with the Axis of Resistance against Israel. After Qasem Soleimani was killed, they bombed the embassy in Damascus in Syria. Israel did. Killed several generals. Then they killed Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, Iran. Israel did. They assassinated him. They blew up his house, or blew up the place they were staying at, right? Then they killed Hassan Nasrallah, head of Hezbollah, in an airstrike. Then they killed Fuad Shukr. Right around the same time they killed Hassan Nasrallah, or excuse me, Ismail Haniyeh. Same day, like July 30th, then July 31st. Within 2 days, they killed the leader of Hamas, the political wing, the guy they were negotiating with, and they killed the leader of Hezbollah. Then in September, they killed Hassan Nasrallah. Then they went ahead and they destabilized Syria. They conducted the ceasefire, and they basically got Ahmed al-Shar and his crew to get into Syria. They took Aleppo, and they took Syria. All these are escalations. But none of this was really reported in Western media because Western media doesn't cover Middle Eastern affairs like that. They just don't. It is what it is. It's fine. But for him to say that this isn't World War III shows the ineptitude when it comes to the Middle East and what's going on over there. It's been going on for years, okay? It's just that it's not reported over here. And most importantly, a lot of conservative commentators don't care to know this shit, okay? What's more interesting, that or what's more interesting, covering 99 genders or, you know, Hezbollah leaders getting assassinated through Israeli airstrikes? Which one is it, right? So what's up, Mo? All right. So what's more interesting, right? What's going to get more clicks? Obviously. So while Crowder was covering, you know, the election and, you know, gender stuff and racial issues, whatever it may be, all this stuff was transpiring in the Middle East. All these escalations were happening. The war's already began and it's still going. This is just a temporary ceasefire. But this is going to continue on, guys. Okay? October 7th pretty much already kicked off the war. It's just that you're not hearing about it. I mean, I've covered it extensively here, but for him to say, oh, it's not World War III, bro, that's just ignorant. You just because you're not reporting on it or you're not familiar with that area of what's going on and the way they conduct warfare, because the Israelis, like I told you guys before, and I'll say it again, the Israelis conduct warfare differently. The IDF is a military that is heavily dependent upon its intelligence and its air force, okay? They don't have the ability to do ground assault like conventional militaries do. So they rely heavily upon Oman, their DIA equivalent, Mossad, their CIA equivalent, Unit 8200, their NSA equivalent, and utilizing sources and informants to get shit done surreptitiously in a clandestine manner. That's what they specialize in, okay? And I've been told you guys this. Warfare nowadays is done differently, okay? After World War II, intelligence agencies run shit. A lot of the times, intelligence agencies do a lot of the heavy lifting, and then you're able to go ahead and use a special unit, use a paramilitary group, use a proxy, whatever, to finish the job. This is how warfare is done now. And it's been going on since October 7th. And, you know, I've covered the escalation ladder with you guys multiple times, right? So World War III is here. Yes, there's a temporary pause, but it's important for people to realize that Iran now is absolutely going to work towards a nuclear weapon. That's without a shadow of a doubt. We also know that Iran, Russia, and China work together. China gets a significant amount of its oil from Iran at a good price, by the way, because of the sanctions. Since Iran has sanctions on them, they can't do business with other people, so they sell their oil at a better price to the Chinese. You guys think that the Chinese, who get a lot of their oil at a great price, is going to sit there and allow Iran to be thrown over by the West and lose influence in Iran? Probably not, right? Probably not. They saw that Iran was able to defend itself because it has a very competent ballistic missile program. They were able to incur quite a bit of damage on Israel. And they got bombed with their nuclear facilities. It was a limited strike by the United States. So there wasn't really a need for China to intervene. But China was giving aid, and China has a vested interest in Iran not being destroyed. Because if Iran is destroyed and they put a puppet government in there, guess what? The Chinese aren't going to get their oil at a great price like they usually do. And then on top of that, they will lose the influence of a very big military superpower in the Middle East, the biggest one by far. Okay? So a lot of things are happening behind the scenes that people don't see. Obviously, we see also Russia invaded Ukraine, taking over Ukraine. That's a proxy war that we're fighting right now with the Russians. Then on top of that, we know that Taiwan every single day is threatened by China, right? They say one day it's, oh, they're going to invade Taiwan. Another day it's not going to invade Taiwan. Who knows what the fuck's going to happen? So it's very important to understand all these different pieces are moving around, okay, at all times. And we're just one assassination, one airstrike, one, escalation from a potential conflict, right? We saw what happened on October 7th. October 7th basically kicked off a greater war in the Middle East, okay? That involved all of the acts of resistance proxy powers. Syria, Lebanon, Houthis down in Yemen, Iraq, the militia fighters there, because there are some militia fighters in Iraq that are loyal to Iran, while there's some that are loyal to the U.S., Iran, etc. So we are absolutely in World War III now. People don't like to say that, right? Because it sounds bad. But World War III has already started. We're just got a temporary pause right now. But you can best fucking believe that there's going to be another conflict because Iran is not going to stop getting the nuclear weapons. They're going to fight even harder for them now. And we know that Israel and the United States say they can have nuclear weapons. Okay? This is why I say that the whole operation that they ran was a failure because they didn't affect regime change. If you don't affect regime change, guess what? They're going to keep doing what they're doing. And Israel knows that. Israel knows that. Right? So they're okay with the nuclear program being pushed back a little bit right now, but we know that they're going to push towards another one. So the conflict isn't done. It's just a temporary pause. But again, like I said before, for Crowder to sit there and say, oh, they lied to you and that it's not World War III or whatever, that's being extremely oblivious to all the different things that are going on and all the other pieces that are going on and all the escalations that have went on in the Middle East, right, that I've talked about before. High-profile assassinations, airstrikes, attacks, operations, clandestine operations by intelligence agencies. All of these are escalations, guys. They're escalations. They might not be conventional escalations like bombing fucking Pearl Harbor, but they're absolutely escalations on the use of force continuum when it comes to warfare. Okay? And then just so you guys know, what Israel did with Operation Rising Lion, where they bombed their fucking radars, bombed their military facilities, assassinated their generals, killed their nuclear scientists, that's their Pearl Harbor, by the way. FYI. That is their Pearl Harbor. Okay? It was a sneak attack that was done on them while they were in the middle of negotiations with the United States. Okay? So, again, warfare has changed a lot. Okay? So, the conventional type warfare that I'm assuming Crowder is referring to when he's saying that we're not in the middle of World War III, that simply isn't true because warfare has changed. If you want to go ahead and use the older definition for warfare, dudes fucking fighting in the middle of a field or some shit, fine. You can make the argument that it's not World War III. But if we're going to talk about how warfare is conducted now, it's absolutely fucking World War III. Absolutely it is. We got several countries, right, fighting against Israel, which Israel pretty much, started a lot of these conflicts with these countries. And that's where we are. And we are supporting Israel because they can't actually defend themselves against these different regional powers all across the Middle East. And we know for a fact it's going to continue because they are not going to stop doing their nuclear program. So this is going to happen again. This is just a temporary ceasefire to allow Israel time to recuperate, replenish their air defense, okay, because you guys know that those missiles are fucking expensive, rebuild Tel Aviv, and then launch another operation to try to decapitate the regime. And Israel will not stop until they decapitate the regime. You could take that one to the fucking bank. So anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and, go over to Fresh and Fit, guys. I'm going to go ahead and cover the Andrew Tate thing here in a second. I'll read some of these chats. Why am I timed out on Kick? Name is Where's Hunter? I don't know. I didn't do anything. Yo, think Frank is one of them boys. Anything is possible. Okay, these guys are pretty cringe. It happens. Slove says, that's what's false. Without your guidance, many wouldn't be in the right place to find the right woman. Please consider this request. Nikki says, thank you for all the work you're doing. I'm trying to get my 16-year-old son and friends to join the movement. Let's see here. Trump helps defend Israel and bombs Iran nuclear sites on behalf of Israel. Retarded right-wingers. Trump has always been consistent. He said Iran can have a nuclear weapon. Trump says, fuck retarded right-wingers. Oh my God, he said, fuck. See, he's not controlled by the Jews. Yeah, I know, bro. It's retarded. It's like watching that was kind of painful. I'm not going to lie. David Myron for giving us all the information, and the WNOSS Army, we're almost at 1,500. Shout out to you guys. So yeah. Murray says, you said earlier it might be Israel's plan to use Bibi as a scapegoat to fix Israel's rep. However, Trump just tweeted about demanding to cancel Bibi's trial and that he wants to pardon given Bibi's effort. Your thoughts? I just explained this, bro. Murray Moto. I told you already. I read the tweet already. I'm telling you that he's going to have to fall on the sword. Trump can go ahead and write the tweet on his behalf, but it doesn't matter. The Israel's not going to be able to repair its reputation until Bibi's out of power. That's just how it is. He's going to be the guy that got them what they needed as far as like fighting off their Middle Eastern enemies. And then once that job is done, once Israel is, for example, like if Iran is toppled, you best believe Bibi's going to be out of power. He's gone. Because then from that point, now it's time to repair the image of Israel. So yeah. Anyway, guys, let me real quick. What was I gonna do? I was gonna do something. I'm gonna be covering. I'm gonna absolutely be covering the talk with our boy Andrew Tate and what's her name? This 304 Bonnie. Bro, it's crazy how, man, it's absolutely wild how shit is nowadays, man, with these 304s, bro. We're cooked, chat. Just so you guys know, man, we are cooked, bro. Feminism has absolutely destroyed everything. Hold on 1 second, just. All right. Bear with me, chat. All right. All right, cool. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the video for you guys on the Andrew Tate thing. I'm going to go ahead and shift on over to Fresh and Fit here in a second. Make sure to go over there. And then tomorrow at 5, I'm going to be doing a OSS Subathon for y'all. It's going to be a good time. A real good time. It's going to be, we're going to cover a bunch of different stuff. I might go ahead and jump on OME TV, debate some IDF soldiers. We'll cover the conflict some more. We'll cover some dating stuff as well. Maybe I'll jump on Anton's panel as usual. So it's going to be a good time, my friends. Here you guys go. Right, here is the event. I'll drop the link. Some dude said react to Trump's truth about BB. Nigga, are you retarded? Guys, I already did that. Some of you guys must be joining now. Bro, I did that like literally an hour ago. There you guys go. Come on over, guys. We're going to cover Fresh and Fit. We're going to go live now here. Like now, pretty much. I'm going to end the stream. Love you guys. We'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow for the debrief. We're going to cover a bunch of different stuff. It's going to be a good time. Come on over, ninjas. I'll see you guys on the other side. Come on over to Fresh and Fit, either on Rumble or on YouTube. See you guys over there. Fresh and Fit. We're going to cover the Bonnie Blue and Andrew Tate debate. It's going to be a good time. Peace.